Hello, welcome back to the best of Trial Watch with Demetra Lit all day. Good evening. Welcome back, Lit Lane Jury Box. Hello, and Renee. Good evening. Rock is right here. Rock. And Renee say hello. Hey, Room Shaker. Oh my God. Let me not start singing. Y'all know if I sing hello, that means I'm about to sing everybody's name. I'm not gonna do it. It's too late for all that jazz. Anywho, if you're catching me over on the Trial Watch with Demetra channel, thank you in advance for becoming a new subscriber over there. Please hit that subscribe button and the bell. The Trial Watch with Demetra channel will be officially launched January 20 of 25. But right now, we're just working out the kinks. But we definitely want to thank you in advance for supporting this new channel. And over here at Demetra Lit All Day, home of Lit Lane in the Lit Lane Jury Box, thank you guys for riding with me through this content, through this switch over we're making, right? And we just gonna keep on learning as we go and working out the kinks and fine tuning things. I don't know if anybody a room shaker if it or M Renee. Let me copy it first. And anybody up top, I don't know if y'all caught the change tonight in tonight's show. Of course, M Renee. Let's see. I don't know. Hey, living. I don't know if y'all caught the change tonight, but there's a change, right? I'm just not going to even hold you guys in suspense. The change is Kathy in here? I don't see Kathy. Oh, there she go. Hey, Kathy Smith. I changed my StreamYard over to the dark mode, so I got to get used to looking at it like this. Right. Y'all just don't even understand. I was like last night, just a moment while the folks get here, because tonight is the best stuff. The first episode of the new format, right? So we decided last night to tweak this show. So the Trial Watch with Demetra is now going to be called the best of Trial Watch with Demetra. And the format is going to be just like how we've been doing it, but we're going to really condense it, right? So we're going to do the opening statements, right? Opening statements, all the best testimonies as deemed by me, right? Like the real good testimonies, like the family members, the people involved, you know what I'm saying? And then like that. And then the closing statements, right? And then we're gonna do the verdict. You know what I'm saying? And so that'll take a trial that takes forever and ever. It'll condense it down. It'll stay interesting because there's always that moment in the trial where it really slows down, because that's when you're having all the forensics and the details of the cell, the what's it called? What's the name of them companies like Telex company and all that type of stuff? Well, we know everything. We know already, right? And plus, this is not that type of court show. We want to see the best parts, right? Hey, Winter, we want to see the best parts. That's the good thing about it. It's nighttime. We don't have time to be invested. I sit and watch the trials minute for minute for minute for minute. So y'all don't have to. I can give y'all the best parts. And I think that's going to be a wonderful format. Because quite honestly, I stayed up last night till almost 2 o'clock in the morning doing the Andre McDonald, the trial that we were watching. And if I'm here to tell you that yesterday was day 2 of testimony, and it was already at all of the day 3. We made it to day 3. Hey, Burberry, good evening. Welcome back to the Atlanta Jury Box. From day 3 until day 6. Hey, Daniel, happy New Year to you too. Till day 6, it's nothing but, I'm telling you, they have a picture of him in the gun shop. Mind you, he not doing nothing, no sound. He just standing there. You don't even get the. They got. It's just a lot of stuff that really. And plus I want to work on the format. I want to work on the best of trial watch with Demetra. I want to get another trial and try that out. I'm really dedicated right now to getting this content together, working on different stuff and trying to figure out some stuff, and I'm not complaining at all. It's just like for me, this month I've been so not doing, hey, sincere, I've been so not doing beef sector content. Like, I haven't done it. That I feel like, okay, if something happened and I just want to talk about it, fine, cool, right? But if not, that's fine too for this month. I'm going to focus my energy on getting set up and getting my new channel set up and all that type of stuff. I'm just committed to it, right? And the only way you can get it done is if you commit to it. I already got so we'll talk more about it, but yeah, I just got to be committed to it, and I am for right now. I'm just real committed to it, and I just want to make this, have a good foundation set for me as I try to do, not try, as I move into doing different forms of content. Let's see here, but you guys know this already. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Let me see. And then I thought about it. Let me make y'all laugh. What's so funny is it's not like it's something even god doggone so special or so goddamn brand new. Even on a lot of shows, like even on Court TV and Law and Crime and Network and what the news people do, all they do is show you the highlights. See what I'm saying? It's just like with the best of Trial Watch with Demetra, we see a little bit more. Not just like a 5-minute clip. I'll show the whole testimony of the best of. Okay. So tonight, without further delay, I see I'm not double Stephing yet, but Lady Steph might be in the clouds. Steph 219 might be in the clouds. I know y'all be at work sometimes in the evening doing this. So I'm gonna get started here because you guys, tonight we're gonna get to the last day of testimony. Yeah. We're gonna jump on to the last day of testimony. You ain't missed nothing real good in between. And we're gonna get to the juicy parts here. Again, this is the Andre McDonald trial. State of Texas versus Andre McDonald. Andre McDonald was the husband of the beautiful Andreen McDonald of San Antonio, Texas, even though they're both Jamaican natives, but they live here in San Antonio. Andre McDonald was a successful Air Force major, a career major in the Air Force, and Dream was a successful business owner. She had started and developed a home health business that eventually took them to the status of being millionaires. They had together a daughter, an 8-year-old daughter with special needs. That was their daughter together on February 28, 2019, according to the defendant. Andre himself, he admits to having a domestic dispute with his wife, Andreen. He admits to the domestic dispute having gotten violent and escalated out of control. Somehow, some way, Andreen was unalive. To say that Texas alleges that it was murder. Andre is going to testify tonight. We're going to finally hear his defense, but he's saying it was an accident. But after the accident, and she got unalive, that he panicked, and that's what led him to take the actions of taking her body to a wooded area, going back to that body several days later, and setting it on fire in an effort to conceal what he had done. So that's what the trial is. Texas versus Andre McDonald. We're going to hear first from, I believe, her father, and then we're going to hear from Andre. Please hit the like button. Let's get started. Let's see. Dang, I did that too. All right. Of course, we're using the fair use. Oh, we double stepping in the house. Hey, Lady Step. Hey, Jules Comfort John. Hey, Miss Step 219. Good evening. Where's Shanny at? Hey, OG Woo Child. Hey, pretty out Shanny. Good evening. Y'all here for a good night tonight. We're going to hear the testimony from the defendant himself. Welcome to the best of Trial Watch with Demetra.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Let's see your just microphone for you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Paul Anderson. I'm the father of Andreen McDonald.
And Mr. Anderson, you said that Andre was your daughter. Do you have any other children?
No, sir.
All the
Did
good
you have
parts.
any other children?
Yes, sir.
How many other children?
One son,
And what was your son's name?
Andre Anderson.
And you said that is Andre still with us?
He lost his life in 2008 in a car accident.
Was Andre older or younger than her brother?
Andreen was younger.
Now, do you also know an Andre McDonald?
Yes, sir.
And who was Andre McDonald to you?
He's my son-in-law, the husband of Andreen.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point to him and just tell us something that he's wearing?
He's over there in a white shirt and a gray jacket.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
The
Jill.
record will reflect that you identified the defendant's cause. Now, Mr. Anderson, where do you currently live?
I'm living in England, in Sheffield.
Now, prior to your daughter's disappearance,
Damn, they got a whole fire alarm.
attention, an emergency has been reported. All occupants, temperatures go to the back and they will confirm this walk down.
All right, your jury this way, please.
Golly, for real? Wow. That's interesting. So they must have had a fire drill or something. That's different. Child, I bet if I heard that type of alarm go off in this type of federal building, it would scare the heck out of me. Okay? I'm just being honest. If I was inside one of these type of buildings and one of them type of alarms go off, I don't even think I would sit there to look from the left and look to my right to see what y'all think it is. Okay? I'm gonna take that as a warning to get the hell out of the out of the building, and I'm gonna heed that warning. Cause y'all know all kind of stuff be going on in these federal buildings, you know. But that's just me. That's just me. Sound like the inside of a hospital with that beeping. I thought somebody's alarm had went off. So I'm gonna open up the my screen with the live on YouTube. I know, right? And I'm gonna drop a poll in them while we're doing this. But okay, they didn't reconvene. They didn't settle back in. Let's get back started. That would have scared me. I wouldn't even have came back. Look, the whole left, the whole right side of the people in the gallery ain't come back. The whole right side say, never mind.
That's someone here, so. And Mr. Anderson, I believe where we left off is you were telling the jury where you currently live.
Yeah, I live in Sheffield, in England.
And how long have you lived in England?
19 years.
Now, prior to that, did you grow up in Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
And were both of your children born in Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Anderson, obviously you being in England, would you visit your daughter, Andre?
Yes, sir.
Roughly, how often would you come to visit?
Most time.
Hey, I'm gonna relax on this pause button. Please understand that. But I cannot help it. OG Wu Chow say, right, cuz what the fuck that is? Okay, focus.
Once a year.
Would you stay in communication with your daughter?
Yes, sir.
How so? How would you do so?
When I'm in England, by telephone.
How often would you speak with Andre?
Very rigorous. Maybe like 3 times a week, but generally Friday. We speak on Friday mostly.
Welcome back, chill out. We just getting started.
Yes, sir.
So you'd also speak to her on other occasions?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Anderson, may I call you Paul?
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, were you aware that Andre and your daughter are having marital issues?
Yes, sir.
Now, would you try to counsel both of them when you have these phone calls?
Yes, sir.
Would you speak to Andre?
Yes, sir.
Would you also sometimes speak to Andre?
Yes, sir.
What was your advice to your daughter?
That they should seek counseling.
Did you try to encourage them to stay together?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may we approach? Yes.
I thought so too, Kathy. She looked more like her dad. He looked like if looks could kill, right? So do y'all think, like you could tell before the fire drill or whatever, you could tell like the emotion in him, right? But he's very stoic, right? So to me, it looked like I absolutely can tell there's a lot of emotion, right? But what emotion is it? It looked like anger. And then it almost looked like you could almost see tears in his eyes, Hey, Silver Lining. Glad you got the chance to come through. Welcome back to the Little Lane Jury Box. OG Wu Chow said he looks like he's going to break down any second. Right. Right. And to be in there and looking like be feet away from the man who took your child from you. I know there has to be, well, I don't know anything. I can only imagine that has to be a really, really, really tough seat to be in. The sister couldn't even look at him. The mother could look at him, but she cried. And it looks to me, because we know how the court is set up and what have you, it looks like he keep making eye contact with the defendant. Yeah, rage and pain. Very much so. I'm going to drop this poll in here. I was under my other, oh man, why can't I? Oh, I got to go to my channel. I want to put a poll up in here. Let me see. Let me see. Cause I want y'all to help me. I need y'all to help me with something. Let's see. What they doing now? Child, this is not the best
When
of.
did you stop being your wife type question?
Hold on.
Assaulted
They had a lot going on in their courthouse that day.
the mother-in-law to the defendant and the mother to the victim.
Hold on.
Part of our rationale is the under 30 and 36.
Hold on. We want to know what's going on with that. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Exactly, Bird. He looks really hurt, and if only he had a chance, right? Just give me one moment with him.
You did, Your Honor. We actually did some testimony. And Mr. Anderson, I believe where we left off is you were telling the jury where you
Very true, M.A.
Yeah, I live in Sheffield, in England.
And how long have you lived in England?
19 years.
Now,
So you're saying because there's defense brought into the question, there's which the other two witnesses, I do remember them saying she could be aggressive, she could be, some of the witnesses, would mess with her. Which witnesses were you saying that they brought that into question about who was more than the aggressor?
yes, Your Honor. We believe that under Sidney and Johnson, the first witness, and also Marie.
Okay, so apparently they took him off the stand. I don't know why, but he didn't come back to the stand.
Part of our rationale is the under 30 and 36.
Who knows what happened with that?
Because that's brought that into question. But again, Your Honor, I'm not going into specific instances. Just talking about what he said.
I couldn't tell you what happened.
Okay, let me go ahead and do some questions and then I'll hear your arguments.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Anderson, you said that you spoke with your son-in-law, Andre, on the phone on occasions.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Anderson, did you ever speak to Andre McDonald as to the reason why he had assaulted your daughter?
Yes, sir.
And did he give you a reason as to why he did so?
Yes, sir.
What reason did he give you?
He said he was angry.
That he was angry?
Yes, sir.
And, Your Honor, that is what the state intends to elicit from the jury, and I've asked for a cross.
Well, Your Honor, that is a specific incident of conduct, and it would be, if it's admissible at all, it would be brought out under 404B. The witness can elicit a general opinion and reputation testimony without triggering any of those procedures. But what is being asked here is essentially the 405 equivalent of the loaded question. When did you stop being your wife type question.
You did bring in John, those other witnesses, a lot of into call who was a more aggressive one, and if you look at 30, 36 in the murder case, all relevant facts regarding the killing.
Y'all don't pay me no attention. He's still sitting on that doggone stand.
Together with all the relevant facts and circumstances showing the condition of the mind of the accused. What's your response to that?
Well, okay.
At the time of the offense.
The problem is, it's not clear to me from the testimony elicited what event we're talking about, when it occurred, how he has a basis of knowledge of it, anything about whether it actually happened or not. There's
Let me ask the state. I don't know more specific to it.
Right, I saw it, but I was on the other screen trying to put that poll in there.
Your Honor, I know that there was one particular conversation at that.
Thank you, Kathy. Kathy be riding with me, baby. Kathy's like, yeah, maybe he'll attack them. Our version seems more dramatic, right?
Pinpointing those specific instances. Also, just for the record, Your Honor, as well, but we have certain notice of these allegations to the defense counsel before court being.
I don't know which one we're talking about now. I understand that they've notified us of specific.
It's like a lot of time the defense attorneys get on our nerves, right? But I think the best ones get on our nerers.
If you want to leave it broad, then the way they do that is through Rule 405. and they would ask.
I'm trying to
knowing
remember
Andre,
what
having
case was
experienced
it.
Andre, his formative
A big
opinion
case.
about whatever character trait they want to ask. They'll say, yes, I
Let me
have an
think.
opinion.
Somebody
They'll
had
ask,
a
"What
huge
is?"
nationwide
Then we're
cover
entitled to cross-examine them
trial,
for 5
and the
times
defense attorney
cases
didn't do
for
shit.
having
I was like, oh my God, is they gonna just sit there and let the
the
man hang?
underlying basis of that testimony. 404B.
Okay, that's not the best of content. Okay,
Had you seen Andre?
here we go. So of course, with the best of content, I would have to have it already pre-recorded and already edited, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Did you speak to Andre about why any physical violence that done by him happened in the relationship?
Yes, sir.
Did he explain to you why he did these physically violent things to Andre?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
He said he was angry.
Now, Mr. Anderson, I want to call to your attention February 28, 2019. This is the day before your daughter goes missing. Did you speak to Andre that day?
Yes, sir.
How did you speak to her?
Over the phone.
Now, was there anything different about Andre's demeanor or how she was acting when you spoke to her that day?
Yes, sir.
What was different?
She was crying.
Now, Mr. Anderson, you're Andre's father. Had you seen Andre cry before?
Yes, sir.
On how many occasions?
Once.
When was that?
At my son's funeral.
So he's already lost children.
When you spoke to Andre on the phone on February 28th, he said that she was crying.
Not the bang.
Do you remember what time of day you spoke to her?
In England, it would be about 12 o'clock in England.
Is it 12 o'clock noon or midnight?
12 o'clock in the day.
After that conversation with Andre, did you ever speak to her again?
No, sir.
Mr. Anderson, did your daughter have any tattoos on her shoulders?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Okay, I got distracted trying to do that poll. Let me see. It shows up on the screen here, but it's not showing.
Paul, I'm going to show you what I've marked as States Exhibit 400.
Okay, best of trial watch with Demetra. Got it.
437.
Boom. That was easy, huh?
Do you recognize this photo?
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Who is depicted?
I'm going to backtrack on defense. I'm going to go ahead and give an instruction. Reading some of this stuff here, Joe. I was going to give an instruction in the jury charge, but I'm also going to do it now. You're instructed that if there is any testimony before you in this case regarding basically what you just heard from the witness, the defendant having committed an act or an act of misconduct other than the offense alleged in the indictment. In this case, you cannot consider said testimony for any purpose unless you find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant committed such acts or acts of misconduct and you were committed.
I see it, Bird.
Consider the same and determine the motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, plan, knowledge.
So he must finna say something real crazy or really damaging, because they are really trying to censor what he's saying or whatever his testimony gonna be.
It's going to give you that instruction with the jury chart, but I wanted to give it to you now also because he just testified to that.
May I continue, Your Honor? Thank you. Paul, I believe where we left off is I showed you States Exhibits 436 and 437. Do you recognize the people in those photographs?
Yes, sir.
And in regards to States 436, which individuals are shown?
Andre, my daughter, and Helena, my granddaughter.
And Elena, is that Andre's daughter?
Yes, sir.
And it states 437, who's depicted there?
Andre, my daughter.
And Paul, you stated that your daughter had a tattoo Is one of those tattoos shown in these photographs?
Yes, sir.
And what part of her body is shown?
It's on her left shoulder.
What is the tattoo of?
It's in the form of a cross.
And does it have some script underneath the cross?
And below it have Jesus.
Do these photographs in states 436 and 437, do they appear like they've been altered or changed in any way?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Do they fairly and accurately depict what your daughter and your granddaughter look like?
Yes, sir.
John, at this time we move into evidence 436 and 437. Subject to objection.
No objections.
Is there any motion?
And Paul, this is States Exhibit 436. This is a picture of your daughter and your granddaughter.
Yes, sir.
And then on your daughter's left shoulder.
Oh, look at the daughter.
Yes,
Wow. My mama. Beautiful.
437.
Beautiful.
Paul, it's at another angle of that same tattoo where you can see the script saying Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful daughter. It was a beautiful family. Shame on him. Shame, shame, shame. And he another one you ain't seen cry, but he a man. They be more stoic
Paul,
at
I'm going to
times.
show you what's already been admitted into evidence of States Exhibit 432.
That's the first picture we see out of the daughter's
Does
face.
this appear to be the same tattoo with script that you identified in the previous two images?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Is that on the body? Oh my God. Oh my God. Are we gonna get this? Are we gonna see that? Okay, so the camera is not gonna, they're not gonna go to that because it's obviously the tattoo on the burnt body. Wow.
Morning, sir.
My name is John Hunter. I represent Andre McDonald. I just have a few questions for you. You had testified about a tattoo that Andreen had on her arm that had a cross on it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's this tattoo here,
Yes, sir.
correct? And you indicated it says Jesus below it, right?
Yes, sir.
It says Jesus walks in its entirety across, doesn't it?
I'm not sure. I know that it said Jesus below it.
Okay, but you don't know if it said anything else, like Jesus walks or anything like that?
No.
Oh my God. What does that matter? He admits to having done it.
It was inspired by a Kanye West song?
No, sir. She didn't tell me.
Okay, one way or the other.
She never tell me why she wear it. My son also have that tattoo.
Okay. She had other tattoos, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did she tell you about all of them?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Your Honor, the door's been open to this, the tattoos in question.
Oh my God. They finna, okay, watch what they finna talk about. Let's see. Let's see if they let this testimony come in. Okay, so right now, the sidebar, if you guys watch the episode of 48 hours, then you know what he's trying to refer to. Right now, the defense is trying to enter in the testimony that Andreen at one point in time allegedly got a matching tattoo with her alleged lover. Okay? Now, they didn't bring that testimony into this trial, but we saw that information. We saw that bit on 48 hours. Oh, you guys, Little Lane Jury Box. That's another thing I've decided that I'm going to do. I'm going to do, I'm going to also make sure that I do trials that's been featured like on 48 Hours and Dateline in 2020. That way I can put those things like in the title and in my hashtags and stuff like that. I think that's a good idea. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Okay. That's another thing I thought about. What y'all think of that? Miss Steph 219 said, okay, what does it have to do with him killing her? Nothing. Oh, it doesn't, but I think they just trying to do yeah, I think that's a good idea. I do too. Yeah, I have really been sitting with my ideas, and like I got a list of the stories that you guys requested. I got the stories that we talked about that I'm supposed to be following up with. I've been let me cook. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad to see. I think that's a good idea. Good. I'm heading in the right direction then.
You indicated that you had a conversation with Andre McDonald about his relationship with Andreen and their marital difficulties, correct?
Yes, sir.
That would have taken place back sometime in 2018, correct?
Yes, sir.
Specifically in the summer of 2018, right?
Could you repeat that, sir?
It would have been in the summer of 2018, right?
When the argument, the conversation we have was in July.
In July of 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you know that Andre and Andreen had been down to Brownsville to visit Andre's friend Sergio and his wife Holly, correct?
I'm not sure who they visited or where they went.
But they were on a trip.
I know that they went on a trip.
They had driven somewhere.
Yes, sir.
And you know that while they were on that trip, Andre noticed that Andreen had 2 new tattoos, correct?
I don't know if it's 2 new tattoos, but I know that there was a new tattoo. I don't know if it's 2 or it's 1. But
okay. And you know that tattoo included the birthday of another man, correct?
not to my knowledge. I don't know what the reason of the tattoo was.
Okay. Did you ever see those tattoos?
No, sir.
You never saw them?
No, sir.
Okay, fair enough. When asked about that, we're discussing sort of your understanding of Andre's, you're talking about a specific instance when Andre and Andreen had a fight, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you were asking Andre about, was that fight in July of 2018, correct?
Yes, sir.
After that fight, you still encouraged Andre and Andreen to reconcile and to work it out, correct?
No, I asked them to seek counseling after that date.
Okay. You're a very tall man, fair to say.
I'm gonna come back to that comment right there, OG Wucho. I'm gonna come back to that.
Andreen was a very tall woman.
Yes, sir.
And a very strong woman.
Yes, sir.
She was religious about her fitness and her workout routines.
Yes, sir.
Y'all would talk about those things together.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen Andreen carry Andre around on her shoulders before?
Could you repeat that?
Have you ever seen Andreen carry Andre around on her shoulders before?
I saw something on the internet where she was showing that she was working out at the gym.
Okay. She could lift a lot of weight.
Yes, sir.
Trying to show how strong she was.
You know your daughter. You know that your daughter would also sometimes have a temper on her, right?
Have a what, sir?
Have a temper.
Not to my knowledge, sir.
You never saw her lose her temper?
No, sir.
Do you know about a man in Jamaica named Ali?
Yes, sir. I know that name.
Did your daughter ever talk about it?
No, sir.
Okay. But you knew that your daughter had been romantically involved with him before, right?
No, sir.
You live in England now, and you've been there 19 years, but you said you grew up in Jamaica, right?
Yes, sir.
How long did you live in Jamaica?
I live in Jamaica from I was born until I lived to England in 2004.
Okay.
Okay,
did you grow
Bailiff
up in the Portland
Winter.
Parish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is Port Antonio the largest town in Portland Parish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's sort of the north side of the island?
Eastern side, sir.
Eastern side, okay. And in that part of Jamaica, there's a lot of crime that happens in that part of Jamaica, right?
I believe it one of the less crime rate in Jamaica.
Okay, but and compared to your time in England, you've acknowledged Jamaica's had some rough difficulties with its crime rate, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of crime in Jamaica.
A lot of narcotics trafficking in Jamaica.
Sir,
It's the same.
There are a lot of murders in Jamaica, right?
It's the same relevance.
Did you know Andre McDonald before he and Anne Rain got together?
no, sir.
And over the time that they were married, you all had a relationship, right?
Yes, sir.
And that it was often a positive relationship.
Yes, sir.
I'll pass the way. Sorry.
Straight.
No, I apologize. I'm over. I apologize. You mentioned that you had heard the name on it before.
Winter Bird sound like she a penguin.
He's already answered it. He knew the name, nothing beyond that.
He said he didn't know anything about the tattoos, but I don't think if the court would know my exception. I'll pass the witness.
No further questions. Thank you, excuse me.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, thank God, because baby, I'm finna say, Lay. See, this is why the best of,
Your Honor, the state has no
the
further
best
witnesses.
of. If I would have done the editing, I would have showed him up there and showed him saying she had a tattoo named Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And that would have been it. That would have been it of his testimony, okay? And I would have been like, we didn't really hear much more. The key point was when he pointed out the tattoo on her burnt body. You know what I'm saying? That clip would have been, that part would have been 2 minutes on the best of format. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. All right. Now, I have not heard any of this testimony, so I'm about to tune in. I'm about to be focused. I warmed up my coffee. It is time to hear from the defendant. Oh, yeah, that's another one of my shows too, y'all. I got one show that I'm working on. Hold on. One of my shows going to be only of when the defendant take the stand, you know, just the defendant's testimonies. I'm already starting my playlist of the ones that I find interesting and stuff like that. So, what it's gonna be called Taking the Stand. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Hey, the Beep Check the podcast. Peace and very violent. I'm gonna be quiet, y'all. Okay.
raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
All of it, sir.
Okay, go ahead, you can speak loud enough and adjust the microphone if you need to. Go ahead, state, sorry.
Am I clear?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you Major Andre McDonald, the United States Air Force Reserve,
Yes, sir.
and you're the defendant in this case?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your background, okay?
Okay.
Where were you born?
I was born in St. Catherine, Jamaica.
And where were you raised?
I was raised in St. Catherine, Jamaica as well.
Where did you go to school?
I went to St. Jago High School in Spanish Town, Jamaica.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
Who did you live with in Jamaica?
Primarily my mother and aunt.
Did there come a time when your mother left Jamaica?
Yes.
And at the time that you're in Jamaica, graduated high school, did you know Andreen Anderson?
Yes, as a small child.
Is there an age difference between you?
Yes, we're 10 years apart.
So at that time, she's significantly younger than you.
Yes.
When do you leave Jamaica?
I left Jamaica in November 1995.
Where do you go?
I went to go live with my mother in Florida.
Who had you come there? Who brought you?
My mom.
And had she remarried?
Yes, she got married to a man named Tommy Horn.
And did you live with them?
Yes.
Did you get your United States citizenship through them?
Yes.
And did you continue to go to school?
Yes, I did.
Where did you go to school?
So initially I started going to a community college called Broward Community College. And then after that I went to Florida International University.
Did you have to work?
Yes, I worked part-time while I was going through school.
What did you do?
I did like IT tech support.
You have an interest in computers?
Well, it started out like that, so I suppose.
And did you graduate from community college?
Yes,
What was your degree?
electrical engineering.
Did you continue your education?
Yes, I continued at Florida International University.
I'm sorry, you continued it to what?
Yes, I continued at Florida International University.
What did you study?
Same thing, electrical engineering.
And did you graduate?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to all of it. Some of the little background is fine, but I think we've gone past.
So roll out.
After you graduated from four-year college, what did you do?
I joined the United States Air Force.
And did you go to officer training school?
Yes, I did.
Where was that?
Montgomery, Alabama.
And what was your first duty station?
My first duty station was in Fort Walton Beach at Eglin Air Force Base.
Can you remember what year that was?
2005, February.
What did you do in the Air Force at that location?
Very much so, Lady
I
Steph.
did 2
Very
years.
much
First I
so.
worked for a test and evaluation center. And then after that, I got transferred over to the Air Force Research Lab.
Is this primarily computer work,
Yes, it's basically computer work.
software,
Yes,
weapon systems?
yes.
How long did you stay there?
I stayed there a total of 5 years.
What was your rank by the time you left?
So when I left, I was a captain.
During this time period that you're talking about, do you meet Andrew?
Yes,
What year?
in 2009 when I went to Jamaica for a funeral.
Tell me about meeting.
So Andreen and I are related, well not related, but we have similar family members. So my
Wait a minute,
older
what?
sister, Michelle, is also Andreen's cousin.
And when you met her, did you start dating her
Yes,
in Jamaica?
yes.
How long were you there?
About a month and a half.
When you come back to your duty station,
Yes, I returned back to Eglin.
do you continue a long-distance relationship with Andrew?
Yes, I did.
How?
Well, it was basically phone communication. So we talk on the phone every day.
What did you decide to do about that relationship?
So at some point, I decided to have her come to the United States to join me.
Did you sponsor her in terms of immigration?
Yes, so we got married first, and then I filed for the necessary paperwork.
Was it a big wedding, small wedding?
It was just a small wedding with some friends.
Where were you at when you got married? What location did you get married?
I was still stationed in Eglin. I was now living in Crestview, Florida.
Where did you live with Andrew?
At Crestview, Florida.
Did you have a house?
Yes, at my townhouse.
And when you move into that house together, what is Andreen doing on a daily basis, if you will, in the United States?
So initially, she would just stay at the house as like a housewife. But the following January, she started going back to college. So she enrolled at University of West Florida.
Did she already have some courses from a community college in Jamaica?
Yes, she did. She was attending Excelsior Community College when I met her in that previous March.
At that time, does Andreen have any money?
No, she didn't have a job. She was just going to school.
Who finances her education?
In the United States, I did.
And do you help her with her education?
Yes, I would sometimes, because I already had a college degree in science and stuff. So whenever she'd have some assignments she might have difficulties with, I'd assist her with like homework assignments and stuff.
As you should
How
have.
would you describe the relationship at the time?
At the time, it was pretty good. I didn't have any
Hey,
complaints.
Daquan.
When did you leave Florida?
We left Florida together in 2010, May.
Left for where?
So in the Air Force, routinely, you serve a few years. In
Hey,
one
Tracy
location,
girl, welcome back
and
to the
then
Nigeria
you get
box.
transferred to another location. So I got transferred to San Antonio for Lackland Air Force Base.
How did you feel about that?
I mean, I pretty much lived it. When I moved to Florida, I used to live in Fort Lauderdale, which was sort of, a good sized city. So moving back from the country area of Fort Walton Beach, now back to like a city like San Antonio, it felt pretty good.
Where in San Antonio were you stationed?
I was stationed at Lackland Air Force Base.
And what did you do?
So I moved to Lackland. I started to become an analyst in radar systems.
And do you have any children?
Yes, I got a daughter with Andrew,
What is her name?
Elena,
And when was Elaine born?
in 2011.
Were the circumstances of her birth medically, were they okay?
So during the pregnancy, Andreen had this condition called preeclampsia. So the doctors decided to have an early delivery. So she got delivered in 29 weeks.
Give me one moment. Now approach this.
Okay, I don't think we too much have seen from this attorney. The other one has been taking the lead through the majority of this
I'm
trial.
showing you something that's marked as Exhibit 46. What is it?
That's a photo of me and Elena.
Okay. Is it a fair and accurate representation of you and Elena? She looks there to be, how old is she there?
It seems like when we lived at Coral Grove, so she's about 4 years old.
Is that a happy memory?
Yes.
Welcome back to the Liz Lane Jury Box, Running Q.
Show the state which we marked as Defense Exhibit 46 and off the State Exhibit 46. I'm sorry. State Defense Exhibit 46.
The state has no objection to defense 46.
Okay, somebody,
That little girl look just like her mama.
Describing,
Yes.
and that's you and your daughter.
Yes, sir.
Where did you live in San Antonio?
I lived in about 4 different locations.
Oh, good, Ronnie
First, I
Q.
think we lived in an apartment complex off Blanco. I don't remember exactly where, but it was off Blanco Road. Then
Andrew lived there with you?
yes, it was me, Andrine, and my daughter Elena at first.
And what is Andrew doing at this time?
So initially when we came to San Antonio, she was just finishing up her college degree at University.
Ronnie Q, just in case, I'm streaming it in 2 places. So if you want to join us over here on Lit Lane, just drop a like on that channel. Unless you want to be isolated.
University of San Antonio, Texas.
Did she complete that degree?
Yeah, she completed the degree in 2012.
And after her degree, what does she want to do?
So after she graduated, she came to me with this business idea about starting a home health care facility.
Is that sometimes called assisted living?
Yes.
Did you do any research on that subject?
Yeah, so it seemed interesting when she came to me with the idea. So we decided to, go do some follow-up research. Seemed like a good idea, so we decided to move forward with it.
When you do that kind of a consideration, what are you looking at?
So it's just different aspects, like what does the business entail? Do you need to get a license? How you go about getting like licenses and stuff like that? And also costs, how much it would cost to operate a business, how much profits you could possibly make depending on how many patients, that kind of stuff.
Did you do a business plan?
Yes, we did a business plan.
Did you take any steps to begin such a business?
Yeah, so initially we wanted to just test the waters. So I went out and rented a house. And at that time in Texas, you can have an assisted living without being licensed if you have, I think, like 4 or less patients. So we started off by just testing the water through the rented house.
At that time, does Andrine have any funds other than y'all's funds in the marriage?
No.
How did you fund the business?
So, I've been working for quite some time by that point. So it's basically my salary that I've earned over the years in my savings.
And did you participate in the business?
Yes, so at first we were, really small. So I'll just basically fund the business, but I also do like maintenance and stuff like that. And then if there's any like major problems that would come up, we would discuss it at home and then, if I figure out how to solve it.
Did the business grow?
Yes, so after we started to test it with the 4 patients and stuff, it seemed like something that we would pursue further. So at that point, I made a decision to purchase the house, and then we did like some major renovations to the house. So I had to pay for a water sprinkler system because that was part of the requirements by the
Great
state of
teamwork.
Texas, and did some modifications within the house to set up like additional rooms.
And what was going on with Elena in 2014?
So in 2014, we got some bad news that Elena was autistic.
And just generally, what did that mean?
So at the time, I never really heard anything about like autism. So when we went, basically I used to when I was going to work every morning, I used to take her to the daycare and drop her off and then pick her up on my way home. And then one day when I went to pick her up, the director of the daycare facility told me that she thought, based on her experience with small kids, she told me that she thought Elena had autism and we should, have her checked out just to, make sure.
Did you have her checked out?
Yes, we did.
And when you discovered that she had autism, what did y'all do?
Well, at first, after the test, when I, brought her home for like the next few days, as we're trying to figure out like where to send her to, get some kind of treatment. I also did like some research on the internet, and I noticed like some of the patients, well, not some of the kids that I would see on YouTube, they had a lot of similar characteristics of that Elena had, like the wandering eyes, and she kept on like repeating something over and over and over. So I knew for sure she had it.
Beginning at that point, what do you do as between you and Elaine?
So at that point, she's no longer a normal kid, so I had to basically start paying a lot more attention to her and like, trying to teach her stuff so she could communicate. Because in the beginning, she wasn't talking, so she would have difficulty understanding when someone wanted to talk to her. But I figured out, I don't know how long it took me, but in like a few weeks or maybe a couple of months, I realized that I could teach her how to like read words, and then I could communicate with her through, the words. I just write it down. Like if I wanted to say stop, I would write the word stop, and then she would say stop, and then she would know to stop.
Do you grow the business again?
Yes. So after the location, was pretty successful and we were living in the apartment, we decided to purchase a home, like a two-story house at Coral Grove. We basically lived upstairs and had like an unlicensed facility running downstairs.
So you and your family lived upstairs, the facility was down.
Yes.
After that, you grow the business once again.
Yes, so at this point, I think it's like 2015, we decided to purchase this, property, and we did like some demolition work, and then we built a new facility at Bryn Mawr through a construction loan from Broadway Bank.
Are both you and Andreen actively involved in that?
Yes.
Who does the business plan?
So she did parts of the business plan, and then I came downtown at a small business association that's somewhere down here, and then I had like a conversation with the guy, and he gave me like some tools, and so I did like the finance part of it, like the numbers as far as for the business plan.
How would you characterize your relationship with Andreen at that point in 2016?
So in 2016, it started off, pretty good. We were, doing the construction, the business is growing, I'm also working, so I didn't have any problems early in the year 2016.
What's going on, if anything, with you in the Air Force?
So in 2014, that would be the time that I would have to like PCS, that's change station to another location. But because the business was growing and it seemed to have like, a bright future, I decided to transfer from active duty to, reserve duty in order to stay in San Antonio.
And so after that, would have your active duty been by being activated or by contract?
Yes.
And is that the situation in 2016?
Yes.
And what happens to you? You're a captain in 2016? What happened?
So in 2016, I was a captain, and then I got promoted to major. So I became a major in, like May of 2016.
Okay. And then what happened?
So in August, I had to go to Keesler Air Force Base down in Biloxi, Mississippi, because at that point I was transitioning away from engineering to cyber defense. So as part of the training, I had a 6-month course in Biloxi, Mississippi.
That course, is that how computers interface with weapon systems?
Pretty much. It starts off by you just learning like, normal computer stuff, operating systems, network architecture and stuff like that. And then towards the end, it gets into like, the actual defensive tools.
And did Andreen visit you in Biloxi, Mississippi?
No, she did not.
What happened while you're there to your relationship?
So one day I was, I think it was on the weekend in between classes. I go to the laundromat to do laundry, and all of a sudden I get this strange text from Andreen saying, when I come home, not to come back to the house.
How did that make you feel?
Wait a minute, what?
Honestly, I was shocked because up to that point, we had no indications that there was any kind of issues. When I left the house in August, we were doing perfectly fine. The new location was going to have a grand opening in September. So all of a sudden, this just came from nowhere. So I was pretty shocked.
When you finished the course, where did you go?
So I went back home in San Antonio.
And when you got home, what did you find?
So when I got home, the relationship seemed to kind of change. Like before, up to when I left, we didn't have any issues. We didn't argue that, rarely. And then all of a sudden, like she would get angry over like all kinds of small, petty stuff, without, basically frustrating me. So.
How long did that go on?
So that went on. So I came back home in early December, and then that went on for like the next, couple of months. And then I just basically had enough because, I'm not normally around like that type of, stuff. So I got frustrated and decided I was going to file for divorce.
Did you?
Yes, I came downtown. I forgot what the name of the lawyer was and filed for divorce.
And again, does that change your relationship?
Yes. So at that point, when I filed for the divorce, I was still living at the house, but we weren't having any communication.
In 2017, while your divorce has been,
Yes.
okay, I want to draw your attention to that. Did the police ever come to your house?
Yes.
Why?
So during the divorce, I remember that when we had started a business at Bryn Mawr, my name was not on the account with Broadway Bank, which was a requirement at the time to get a construction loan from Broadway Bank. So I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm going through a divorce and only she has access to that account. It'd probably be wise if I could, get my name added to account so I could make sure that she wasn't doing any funny business.
Why did the police come to your house?
So that Saturday morning, we had a conversation about going to the bank so we could add my name to the account because typically up until that point, she was the one that handled the paperwork. So if we had like stuff related to the business, she was the one that kept it in the safe. So in the morning, when it was time to go to the bank to get my name added, she started fussing over something. I didn't remember what it was. It was just some nonsense, but to me, it just seemed pretty obvious that she was trying to prevent me from getting added to the account. So we started arguing, but because I didn't want my daughter to, see us arguing, I decided to leave the house. And then when I came back to the house, there was a police car parked in front of the house.
Did the police talk to you and talk to Andrea?
Yes, so when I got out of the car, the officer came and said he had gotten some type of domestic violence disturbance here. And so I looked at him, and then all of a sudden, Andrew comes out, and I turned to the officer and I said, "Sir, take a look at her. Does she look like somebody's been abused to you?" And he looked at her and he said, "No." And then I asked him, "Could you please just wait here while I go upstairs and get some clothes so I can leave?" And then I went and got some clothes, and I went and checked in a hotel that night.
Did you go back?
So when I was at the hotel, I didn't appreciate the fact that, she had called the cops and lied on me. So I told her I was going to come to the house to get the rest of my stuff and move out. So the next day, when I got to the house, she had locked the doors using the deadbolt from the inside, so I couldn't get in the house. So at that point, I called the police and asked them for assistance to help me get my stuff so I could move. And they sent a couple of officers over. And when they came, they called her and asked her to open the door so I could get my stuff and leave the house.
Other than that instance in 2017, during the divorce, has the police ever been to your house?
Not to my knowledge.
And what happens after that with your relationship with Andrea?
At that point, for maybe like a couple of weeks, I moved out of the house now, and I was living with a friend named Micah on the other side of town, and then going to work from there.
Pause. Pause. And let's give Judge Demetra a round of applause. I have not said nothing in a long time. Okay? Now it's time for y'all to get this commentary. I absolutely think he is lying right now, right? I think he is minimizing stuff. I just don't see how he could have left on a work trip, and her saying don't come home just totally took him aback out of left field, right? Even though I've heard of things like that happening, that's how they got Dear John letters and things like that. So it's not to say it can't happen, but I think sometimes people say that, like they didn't know what was going on. It took them, it came out of left field. Did it really? Or did you not listen to that little voice in your intuition to tell you something not right? Right? And then when he explains about what happened when the cops came out there, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? That don't even sound logical. That all they did was have a little back and forth about a account. He leaves and the cops at his house all of a sudden. Yeah, right. That sounds like he is really minimizing. And I hope that that the prosecution has the, not arrest, what's called? The police statement from that time when the cops came out. I hope they introduce that and read it. I want to hear what Andreen put on the police report. That's the only way we're going to hear her side of things. Right? Miss Steph say, Miss Steph 219 say, yes, he is another lying narcissist. Shaking my head. And that's what I think on Taking a Stand, my new one of my new shows for 2025. Taking a Stand, I think we're going to really be using that term narcissist and things like that a lot. And I'm talking about female and male for these people that actually take the stand in their own defense. I think they have to have a certain amount of narcissism running through them that makes them think they going to be the one where this taking a stand ain't going to be a problem for them. They're going to be the ones that convince people of their honesty, right? All right, let me take a deep breath because I'm about to go under and be quiet again. Whew. Deep breath. Let's go.
And at that point, like a nice couple of weeks, she kept calling, telling me to come back home for Elena, and she was sorry and all that stuff. And she was also calling like my mom and family members to try to talk me into coming back home.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
And did you move back into the house?
Yes. So when I moved back into the house, I came downtown and met with a lawyer, and then told him, not to go through with the rest of the divorce.
You withdrew the petition.
Yes, I did.
Now, after that, do things stay that way for a long period of time?
So things were, calm maybe for like a couple of months, at which point we had purchased a house at Solitude Cove. But then, as soon as we moved into the new house, the whole problem started again. A lot of disrespect and all kinds of stuff started again once we moved into the new house.
I want to call your attention to the 4th of July, 2018.
Okay.
What do you do?
So during the summer, we had decided to send my daughter Elena down to Florida to meet with, to stay with my mom for the summer. So we were going to go down to Brownsville to hang out for the 4th of July with a friend of mine I used to work with named Sergio and his wife Heidi. So, we drive down to Brownsville. And as I'm in, Sergio's house, sitting around the dining room table with Andreen, I noticed a tattoo inside this section of the arm, like here. And immediately when I saw the tattoo, it seemed like a date that I kind of recognized, but I wasn't sure, but it seemed like something kind of familiar.
Were you aware that Andreen had a relationship before you in Jamaica with someone?
Yes.
Do you know who that person was?
Yes, his name is Arvin Hall.
Do you know Oliver?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know?
So he lives like 2 doors down from my dad in Puerto Antonio, Jamaica.
And in Puerto Antonio, what is Oliver?
Alvin's a local drug dealer and a gang leader.
Now, Christian.
Yes.
My.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 48. You take a look at that.
Yes.
What is it?
That's a photograph of Arvin Hall.
Oh,
And
Lord, let's
is it
see.
a fair
Ooh,
and
let's
accurate
see.
representation of what Alvin Hall looks like?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, Ronnie Q, they just introducing the boyfriend now. The prosecution side did not introduce him, of course. Girl, now he a drug dealer on the island of Jamaica. My. Lord have mercy. You know, this is how he remembered things, Tracy. Ooh. He making you mad. Oh, I hope they show the picture. I'm so nosy. Y'all so nosy. Dang, we nosy, but he nosier. Look, he all up in a conversation. Is they supposed to be, that's a question I have, right? When the judges and them having a sidebar, is the person in the witness stand supposed to be all up in they beeswax? Okay. Which one of them ladies was testifying? Was it the teacher or was it the friend, Carol? One of them ladies was testifying and they was having a sidebar at the bench and she was being real still. And one of y'all say she trying to eavesdrop on their conversation. I was trying to say, I'm sure the disrespect was coming from him. I think it was mutual, probably. The teacher. Oh Lord, that's the boyfriend, the drug dealer. Now he got a shirt of her without a picture without no shirt on. Not the thirst trap picture. Oh Lord. Why he brought the man thirst trap picture to court?
Yes, I can.
On this trip, did you notice anything unusual about Andreen?
Yes, like I said, I noticed she had gotten 2 brand new tattoos. There was an A on her right hand, and then that number date that I saw on the inside of her left hand.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 49. You recognize that?
Yes, that's a photograph of Andrew's hand with a tattoo.
I'm showing you it's been marked as Defense Exhibit number 50.
Yes, that's also a photograph of Andrew's hand with another tattoo.
Baby, if they come out with a picture of his hand with that tattoo, I'ma faint.
Defense Exhibit 48. Do you see this tattoo that's in Defense Exhibit 49 on Alvin's chest?
Oh Lord, well.
Yes, I do.
Is it the same?
Yes, it's the same A.
I offer
You gotta show the
49,
the short
50,
just
and I'm just going to take this off.
fine.
Show them the state for me.
Child.
No, actually, third video published.
Yeah, the gangster was cute, child. So he cheated. What does it have to do with him killing her?
Yes,
So
they're
she
brand
cheated.
new.
Andreen has tattoos, right?
Yeah, she has 4 or 5 other tattoos.
And the one that you saw earlier with the cross, is that a religious thing, or is it, what does it signify?
So the tattoo is a cross with the words Jesus walks under the bottom of the tattoo. So she was a fan of Kanye West. So when that song came out, like back in the day, Jesus walks, God showed me that song, she decided just to get a tattoo for Kanye West.
When I published 49 and Exhibit 50. Now, whose hand is that?
That's in Jude's hand.
Is that the tattoo that you've been describing? It's also in the picture involved?
Yes, sir.
And this tattoo?
Yes, that's also the other tattoo that I said I saw.
Were the 4th of July and Sergio's hat, you see those for the first time. Does that shock you?
So initially it did, but at the time, like I said, I know the army since like 2007, 2008. So I knew it was born sometime around March 1976, but I wasn't sure the exact day. So when I saw it just before I confronted her about it, I just wanted to make sure it was 100%. So his brother owns a nightclub, and I figured like they probably had some type of event there. So I went and Googled, went onto the website for the nightclub and went back to March of that year. And then right there, March 14, that very year, they had a birthday party for Harvey. So I knew March 14, 76 was the birthday, just like I suspected it was.
Ooh, a shame and a scandal. A shame and a scandal. So I absolutely, it is no reason to take somebody's life. None. Like Lady Steph say, absolutely none of this is valuable. Is a valuable reason for him to do what he did to her. Just walk away. Absolutely. Absolutely. But let's go. And I am saying, but let's go. Right? Not making excuses, but take out the crime. Just in your own mind. For me, imagine being married to somebody, trying to work it out, because regardless or not, he was trying. They did file for divorce. They got back together. They bought a house together. Apparently, both of them said, we're going to try to work it out. Right? And in the midst of that, here come my honey home with this new tattoo that I linked to some other broad. You want to talk about disrespect? That is very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very disrespectful. Is it disrespectful enough for her to lose her life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But when you want to talk about disrespect, when you want to talk about playing mind games, why y'all looking at me like that? I'm not saying it's okay to have domestic violence or for him to kill her. Take the murder out. I'm talking about just it. Oh, Lord. I can't even imagine being disrespected by somebody like that. Like, oh, my God. It's like, oh, my God. Just throw the whole thing away. He should have just walked away. He should have just split from her. They should have not got back together. Absolutely not. Because that kind of stuff will make you hate somebody. That'll make you hate somebody. And that just builds up and builds up and builds up. Something bad was bound to happen, and it did.
Now, to show you it's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit number 47. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
So that's the picture I saw on the website that I took a snapshot of from the birthday for that year in 2018 for Abby.
A fair and accurate representation of what you saw when looking into that?
Yes, it is.
Tender to the state and rejection.
No objection.
Admitted, published.
Commissioner Douglas.
Not the flyer.
What is that?
That's the birthday party that they had.
Is the date on it?
Yes, on there it says the 13th. I'm thinking it's probably like a Saturday. That's the 13th, so they probably just had the birthday party like the day before since it's a Saturday.
How much older than Andrew is you?
I'm about 10 and a half years.
Is Alden older or younger than you?
He's older than I am.
When you were aware that he had had a relationship in Jamaica with Andreen, how old was Andreen?
13 years old.
Was that at the end
Ah,
of the
mama.
relationship or at the beginning?
That was at the beginning of the relationship.
To your knowledge, did it go on for some time?
I think it went on for like 5 years or so.
Back to Sergio's house on the 4th of July. What reaction do you have to finding this information out?
So I was, at that time I became pretty angry, to be honest. A lot of things, like since, late 2016 when she had sent me that text, and then since I got back in December 2016 with all the bickering and fighting over like some nonsense, at that time it was pretty frustrating because, we're having these arguments, but none of these arguments make any sense. Like, why are we arguing this much when everything seems to be going, right? And then suddenly in 2018, when I saw the tattoo, that kind of made sense. So I had just, pieced it together in my head. All of these arguments are basically whenever she has problems with the guy, she comes home and she takes out the frustration in the house.
You have an argument about it at Sergio's house.
Yeah, so we started arguing at Sergio's house, but we were at Sergio's house and we were arguing, back and forth. And then she's, telling a bunch of lies, making up stories about what the number was. But obviously I'm not stupid. I can see that, it's the ex-boyfriend's birthday. It's on your hand. It's on their website. Clearly you're lying. So at that point I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go home back to San Antonio.
How did that happen?
So initially, when I decided to head back home to San Antonio, I just wanted to drive, by myself to go home and have her find her own way. But I guess, she was, talking to Sergio and trying to tell him like, nah, everything will be all right. We'll drive together. And then I guess eventually we just decided not to put Sergio, into any type of inconvenience. So I decided, okay, we'll just drive together, but she'll drive the car and I'll just sit in the back seat.
What's the drive time from Brownsville to San Antonio?
About 4.5 hours.
How would you characterize that particular drive with Andrew?
I mean, it was pretty, it was a tense, argument because, at that point, like I said, I exactly knew now what all her, behavior was about the whole time. Like I remember, when we first moved into the house, I had gotten the master key and went to Lowe's to try to make copies of the keys for her and Maureen, because at that time Maureen was living with us.
Listen to the question. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Do you get all the way back to the house in San Antonio?
No. So when we got to San Antonio, I decided hey, it's been already almost 4 hours in here. I don't want to be around you. So could you please let me out of the car?
Did she let you out of the car?
No, she wouldn't let me out of the car.
How far were you from the house?
Drive time, I'm thinking maybe 15, 20 minutes, walking distance, maybe an hour.
And how many times did you ask her to let you out of the car?
About 10 times.
Did she ultimately let you out of the car?
Yes, she did.
How did that happen?
So eventually, I keep asking her, let me out of the car. And she keep driving, let me out of the car, let me out of the car. And then finally, I was in the back seat and I grabbed her face. But when I grabbed at her face, she moved. So I think I scratched her in the face. But at that point is when she actually pulled over and let me out of the car.
Child.
After this event, how were things at the house?
Well, after that event, it was pretty tense. Because when I got back home, I decided to move out of the master bedroom, and I was staying upstairs, contemplating my next move. So I lived upstairs for a couple of months, I would think.
Would you stay at the house?
Yes, I stayed at the house.
And she stays at the house?
Yes.
And where is Maureen during this time?
Maureen is living at the house with us.
And just so I'm clear, when did Maureen come to live with you?
Maureen came to live with us, I'm thinking 2015, when we lived in Coral Grove.
Has she lived with you ever since?
Yes.
How would you characterize your relationship with Maureen?
So my relationship with Maureen over the years was pretty good.
How do you think of it?
So at the house, I normally refer to her by the term mommy. So in Jamaica, that's what you call your mom, but you say mommy. And since, she was Angie, my mother-in-law, and we had a close relationship, whenever I refer to her, I call her mommy.
And how long does this go on at the house? Just being.
So I was in the upstairs bedroom until December. So my friend Andrew was coming to San Antonio to visit. So at that time, I sort of moved back downstairs in the master bedroom so that Andrew could get the guest room, just to kind of keep up appearances.
Are you and Andreen working on your relationship at that time?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't call it that. We're just keeping up a facade.
In February of 2018, did you have a party?
Yes, I had a birthday party.
Why?
So, Andreen wanted to plan a birthday party for me. It's my 40th birthday. I wasn't really sure why, but she wanted to throw the birthday party, so we had it.
Whose idea was that?
That was Andrew's.
And how many people were invited?
Maybe 30 or so.
Were you excited about that?
I mean, it was a party, so we had fun.
And how did the party go?
The party went well.
After the party, is there any difference in the treatment with each other between you and Andrew?
So shortly after the party, I don't remember how many days after, she came to me with this idea about us, going to Jamaica. I think she had mentioned it before, but I told her that I'd think about it. But then after the birthday party, I contacted my friend Andrew in Florida to talk about it, just to see what he thought about this whole idea of us going to a concert in Jamaica. So when I called Andrew and told him about the concert, it was for this reggae artist called Buju Banton. So I told Andrew about it, and he asked me if either one of us listened to Buju Banton, and I told him no. And I didn't know if Andrew listened to this guy in the 9 years we were married. And then Andrew said,
Objection, hearsay.
no, it did not seem normal.
So I'm pretty sure he was about to allude to the fact before it got objected. I'm pretty sure he was going to say, they found out that that reggae artist is somebody that Auburn, whatever his name is, the gangster, somebody he like, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he was about to say. Objection myself, speculation.
Showing you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 51 for identification. Can you identify that?
Yes, that was the Buju Banton concert in 2019.
Had you found that? Had you seen that in terms of what we're
Yes.
discussing? Is it a fair and accurate representation?
Yes, it is.
Showing the state Defense Exhibit 51, offering State's Exhibit 51.
Your Honor, I'm failing to see the relevance, object to relevance.
Your response?
Well, they're describing the relationship in her and Dream becoming more nicer in reference to this particular concert. Neither one of them likes the music.
That's fine. So, the next is submitted.
I published.
Yes.
Is this the poster that you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
To your knowledge, were either one of you familiar with this artist's music?
I mean, we both knew who he was because he's Jamaican, but neither one of us listened to the guy, so.
And did you tell her he would go or not go?
So I told her I wasn't going to go, so it was off the table.
What was her reaction?
She got pissed off and moved out of the master bedroom.
Did that seem normal to you?
On a normal relationship, no, but apparently it made her angry, so she moved out.
Did you think her reaction was proportionate to you saying, no, you didn't want to take a trip to Jamaica?
At that time, it didn't really, I mean, it seemed kind of odd that, you asked me if we should go to a concert in Jamaica, and I say no, and you get pissed off to the point you're moving out of the master bedroom, but she did, so it is what it is.
So that was after February 16th, 2019.
Yes.
I want to draw your attention to February the 28th, 2019.
Yes.
Were you living at the house?
Yes, I was.
Describe the morning.
So for me, it was just another normal morning. I got up my normal time at 5 o'clock. I got myself like half ready. And then around like 5:30, I do the normal routine that I did every morning with Elena. So I pick her up. I go to her room, pick her up, take her to the shower, give her a bath, then put on her clothes, take her downstairs, give her vitamin C medicine, and then put her on the school bus. And then from there, I go to work.
Do you recall what time you got to work?
Probably like 8 or so.
Where do you go to work at Black?
So I work for the 426 Network Warfare Squadron. So it's a SCIF. That's basically a secure facility. So whenever you go in, you'd have to leave your phone outside.
When you're at work, you don't have your cell phone.
No, I don't.
You have to sign it in and out.
No, you just leave it in your car or somewhere outside the building. There's like lockers on the outside. You can store it in there or just leave it in your car.
But you can't take it inside.
No, you cannot.
You know what time you left the skip?
So I left the SCIF around noon that day for lunch. And then after that, I had a briefing that I had to do for some folks that were like some foreign military guys about cyber defense and stuff. And then after that, I went back to work.
How does Andreen start her day?
So every morning when I get up, she'd probably like leave the house maybe a few minutes before I actually get up. And then she'd go to the gym at 5, then come back home like after 7. After that, I assume she eats breakfast, does what she does, and then eventually goes to work about 9:30, 10.
Hold on. Are you and Andrew the same size?
No, she's bigger than I am.
How much bigger than you?
Well, I'm about 5'9", and she's probably about 5'11", 6 foot.
Can I approach you?
Yes.
And showing you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 52 and Defendant's Exhibit 53. Can you tell me what they are?
These are 2 photographs of me and Andrine standing next to each other.
And you didn't take the photographs, did you?
No, I did not.
But are they a fair and accurate representation at that time of what you and Andrine looked like together?
Yes.
February 52, 53, statement of objection.
No objection to 52 or 53.
They're getting published.
Yeah, published. Defense Exhibit 52. What is that?
That's a photograph of me and Andrine next to each other.
And does it accurately depict the difference in size between you?
Yes.
You said you're 5'9".
Yes.
How tall do you think Andrine is?
That's about 5'11", 6 foot.
Second photograph.
Yes.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Jinx, Lady Steph, we was typing it at the same time. Napoleon simplex, right? Complex. We both thought the same thing.
Can you describe Andrine in terms of being her physicality?
So, as you can see from the photo, she's pretty tall, but she does like a lot of CrossFit because she goes to the gym pretty much every morning, and she lifts like a lot of weight, so she's pretty strong.
Do you happen to know, in terms of lifting weights, what kind of heavy weights is Andrine able to lift?
So I know she does like a lot of squats and deadlifts, and I guess it's called like pull. I'm not sure what the term is when you pick the weight up and like snatch it over your head. But I know she can lift a significant amount of weight, maybe like around 280, 300 pounds.
How much do you weigh?
Well, today I'm sort of overweight, so I'm probably about 180. But back then I weighed about 168.
I want to go back to February the 28th. When you leave work, where do you go?
So I think when I got out of the building, I'd gotten a phone call from Andrine saying to meet her at the H&R block to sign the taxes.
You go there?
Yes, I went to H&R block
For what purpose?
just to do the taxes.
And you seen video earlier of you arriving there?
Yes, I did.
When you got there, what did you do?
So when I got there, Andrina hadn't arrived yet, so I just went inside the building. But we've been doing taxes with Juanita for several years, so I just walked into her office, and she already had like our documents on the table. At which point I just started to like look through them just to see, make sure everything was good.
How long were you there doing that?
Before Andrina got there, I'm not sure, maybe 10 minutes or something.
Did you observe anything while you were looking at the paper?
So when I was looking through the paperwork, I noticed something that Andreen had started this business named Elena's Property Management. And under the business, there was a construction taking place for our fourth facility that was supposed to be taking place for Starlight Homes on our joint property at Scarsdale, which I found shocking because I remember when I did the edits for the business plan and submitted them to Andreen to give them to the bank, they were under Starlight Homes. But here on this form, it says there's a business plan going forward under Elena Property Management, which I knew nothing about, and immediately I just knew she was stealing from me.
Oh Lord, he's sticking to that on the stand too, baby.
Yes, because we already had 3 locations before for the assisted living. I just knew she was
For what purpose?
just to do the taxes.
Listen to how he say this, y'all.
And,
Yes, I rewinded it. Listen to the emotion
seeing video earlier, or you were
when he
live?
says this.
Yes, I did.
When you got there, what did you do?
So when I got there, Andrina hadn't arrived yet, so I just went inside the building. But we've been doing taxes with Juanita for several years, so I just walked into her office, and she already had like our documents on the table. At which point I just, started to like look through them just to see, make sure everything was good.
How long were you there doing that?
Before Andrina got there, I'm not sure, maybe 10 minutes or something.
Did you observe anything while you were looking at the paper?
So when I was looking through the paperwork, I noticed something that Andreen had started this business named Elena's Property Management. And under the business, there was a construction taking place for our fourth facility that was supposed to be taking place for Starlight Homes on our joint property at Scarsdale, which I found shocking because I remember when I did the edits for the business plan and submitted them to Andreen to give them to the bank, they were under Starlight Homes. But here on this form, it says there's a business plan going forward under Elena Property Management, which I knew nothing about, and immediately I just knew she was stealing from me.
This would be the fourth location?
Yes, because we already had 3 locations before for the assisted living.
Well, at that time, what was the status of the fourth location?
So the fourth location, we had already bought land, and we were, doing work with this architect who was designing the facility. So every a few weeks or so, we would both go to the guy, take a look at the drawings and stuff like that.
Did you do a business plan?
Yes, we had done a business plan for it.
Did you get a mortgage?
So we were in the process of getting the mortgage through Broadway Bank.
The documents that you saw at H&R Block, did you sign any documents for a new company?
No, I did not.
Did you sign any documents for a new account?
No, I did not.
What did that signify to you, if anything, at H&R Block?
So basically, all that meant to me pretty much that she was robbing me, and she was trying to you create a new business so she could transfer property to it, and also open up a separate account to which I would have no access to, and in that way she would have control of basically all the business money.
Did you speak to Ms. Brockman about that?
No, I did not.
Did you have any conversation with Andreen?
So when she came to H&R Block, initially I asked her hey, what the hell is going on with this? But I did it in Patois, which is that's a Jamaican Creole.
Is it a separate language?
Sort of, kind of. It's more like a dialect, but to the normal ear in America, you probably wouldn't understand it.
Is it a mismatch or mixed match of different languages and cultural?
Yeah, so it's like a combination of mostly broken English and a little bit of Spanish and African Creole.
And Did you speak to Andrea in H&R Block in that night?
Yes, I did.
Did she respond in that night?
Yes, she did.
And what did you say to her?
So I remember saying, hey, what the hell is going on? Like, I said it about her, like, yo, what is? What the construction they are going with? Which is basically me saying, like, what's going on with this? What's this construction about? I don't remember what she said, but it was kind of like an aggressive tone. I didn't want to get into like a, big blow up in front of Ms. Brown. So at that time, I decided to let it go.
And did you take care of your taxes?
Yeah, so we just went through and signed and then paid for the tax, and then we went home.
Did you say goodbye to Mr. Brockman?
Yeah, so, she had the document.
Bingo, Mr. F219.
allowed me to look through them. So for me, she just seemed like obviously whatever Andrene's got going on here, she's obviously not a part of it. So I just gave her a hug, and then I left and drove home.
Do you go home together?
No, we're in separate cars.
Do you go anywhere else first, or where do you go directly from H&R?
I go directly home.
Is Andreen there?
No, I think I got home first, and then, a few minutes afterwards, she pulls up.
Do you remember what time she got home?
No, I do not.
What happens when she gets home?
So I guess she comes in, puts her stuff down, and she's taking off her clothes. And at that time, I think I'd already changed out of my uniform and put on my normal clothes. And so the first thing I did, because, while I'm driving home, I was thinking a lot about the situation. So the first thing I did when I got home, I immediately Googled, I think I Googled something with divorce and business at the time, because that's precisely what I was thinking at that time.
Do you check the state of Texas, the franchise Secretary of State's office?
Yeah, so after I, did a Google search on divorce and stuff, I remember just out of curiosity, because obviously, she's doing some kind of criminal stuff. I just wanted to see how long this scam was going on for. So I went on to, I think, the state property to try to figure out how long ago she had actually started to, and registered the business to kind of give me an idea of how long she was, scheming and plotting against me.
Now, for showing you it's been marked as defense exhibit.
Wow. That's all I can say right now is
What is it?
wow.
This is basically the information for the Atlanta's property management register of the state.
Is this what you conducted a search for and found at the time you were just testifying when you get home?
Yes, it is.
A fair and accurate representation of what it is?
Yes, it is.
In defense exhibit 54.
No objection.
I made it published.
Does this show the information for Atlanta's Property Management LLC?
Yes, it does.
Did you create Atlanta's Property Management LLC?
No, I did not.
Did you ever sign any documentation for Atlanta's Property Management LLC?
No, I did not.
Should I just approach the camera? Now, the creation that's indicated on this is 7/10/2018. Do you see that?
Yes.
How close was that to this argument eruption that you're talking about that was in Brownsville at the 4th of July?
That would basically be 6 days later.
You confront Andreen about this issue at the house on the 28th?
Yes, I did.
How do you confront it?
So once I got the information of when she had formed the company, he said, I realized it was right around the time she had gotten the tattoo and stuff like that. So I know she was up to no good. So I basically came and said, wait a minute, how the hell do you go ahead and register a business behind my back? And the documentation that I write and give to you to give to the bank for the new construction, you go ahead and modify that document in a new company's name with the bank without my knowledge. What the hell is that? And her response was, oh, it's not hearsay. It's what I heard.
You don't make a decision. Okay, so we're all,
Child.
I'll respond to that. We'll try to make a woman. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Woo.
So her response was, she's always alone. That's why, she'll set things up where she does it by herself. And that's when I said, that doesn't make any sense because we both live in the same house. How can you be doing stuff alone? When are you ever alone? We live in the same house. We sleep in the same house every night. So I'm not sure. That doesn't make any sense. You're clearly trying to steal from me.
Do you know about what time that is?
That was probably around 7-ish or so. Yeah.
Do you stay at the house and continue arguing with her?
So she started getting aggressive instead of, like apologizing and say, she made a mistake or something like that. She, started getting aggressive. And since we had a young child in the house, I didn't want it to like blow up into any type of physical confrontation. So at that time I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna leave the house.
Did you leave the house?
Yes, I left the house and drove down to the gas station at first.
And the exhibit that we saw earlier in the trial, your movements and your texts and your actions, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that's a me.
Exhibit 174. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And is it accurate?
Roughly.
And does it show when you left the house or when you arrived at the Shell station?
Yeah, I mean, the timeline squares with what I remember.
When you get to the Shell station, does the video depict what you did?
Yes, it does.
What did you do?
So when I got to this Shell gas station, I was sitting in the car for a few minutes.
Why?
So I was just, thinking about all the stuff that was going on.
Why?
I mean, this was a very big discovery. I mean, it's not every day you find out your wife's ripping you off.
That's not your wife.
Ripping you off.
How long do you know, if you know how long you sit there?
I'm not sure how long I was there, but I know like while I was sitting in the car, I got some texts from Andrew.
Did you reach out and communicate with Andrew?
When I left the house initially?
Sitting there at the Shell station, did you reach out and communicate with Andrew?
No, I did not.
Who started the communication?
She did.
And how did she communicate with you?
She sent me some text, something about Texas and community property state.
Okay, let's see if we can get that. Is this your response? It's on the screen, can you see it?
Yes, that's it.
And you indicate that you know what's going on and you're not going to be a fool.
Say it again, sir.
You indicate that you know what's going on and you're not going to be a fool.
Pretty much.
And is this going on while you're sitting in the vehicle?
Yes, because this, for the last couple of years, there's been like a growing list of, misdeeds. First, it started off with the issue where she called the cops and reported some false allegations of assault when I talked about the bank account. And then the whole issue with her going to get a tattoo of her thug boyfriend in Jamaica, down to obviously her, starting another business trying to rip me off.
You're 2 miles away from the house?
Probably, maybe 2.5. I'm not sure the distance.
Okay, why don't you just go back to the house?
Well, at that point, I didn't want to have anything more to do with her because, like I said, I already knew what I was going to do anyway. So I was just going to wait till probably very late when she's already gone to bed to go to the gym. I'd go home, get up in the morning, and go back and meet with a lawyer and get a divorce.
Why would that be your plan?
Well, we were arguing before, and I didn't want to have any kind of physical confrontation with her. So I already know I'm going to get a divorce. I'm going my own separate way. So at that point, it's probably best to just avoid any kind of physical contact just to be safe.
After this text exchange, can you go to the pen? So you, like everyone else, saw this exchange in this video in State's Exhibit 174, correct?
Correct.
At the end of it, do you leave the Shell station?
Yes, I left the Shell gas station and then I drove to the park that's probably like midway between the house and the Shell gas station.
Stay right in the neighborhood.
Yes.
You go to the park. What do you do at the park?
So at the park, I think I was like listening to some music, just killing time, just to let, the time go by.
Why did you want to let time?
Because, we just had an argument. Like I said, at that point, I didn't want to have anything more to do with her. So the plan was, I'll just wait till it's extremely late. She'll be in bed. I go back home to the house, and then I'll just go to bed.
How long did you stay at the park?
I don't remember exactly, but I think I went home probably around midnight.
When you came back into the neighborhood, did you use your keypad?
No, I punched in the 1976 gate pass.
And where did you park at the house?
I think I parked in the driveway.
How did you enter the house?
So when I got out of the car, I went through the front door.
What do you expect to find?
Well, at midnight, I sort of expected Elena to be asleep in her room and Andrina to be asleep upstairs in the guest room.
When you enter the front door, what do you find?
Well, the light upstairs was dark, so it seemed Elena was definitely asleep. But I noticed the light in the kitchen was on, which I found kind of strange.
And where are you going?
So at that time, I'm just going, to the master bedroom that's located towards the back of the house downstairs.
How far do you get?
So right as soon as I get to where the living room area is, I notice Andrina is sitting in the couch, basically there in the living room.
When you see her, tell me what you see.
So when I see her, she's sitting down in the couch and she's obviously pissed off, just like she was when I left the house, earlier that night. And so at that point, she's right there. So I told her, look, tomorrow when I leave work, I'm going to go back downtown to the divorce lawyer and I'm going to get a divorce. And this time, I'm not proving it up. Which basically means I'm not stopping the divorce like I did the first time.
As you're saying this, are you standing still or where are you going?
So when I was saying it to her, She's sitting in the couch and I was standing like right in front of the TV.
Where are you going?
So I was on my way to my bedroom. And since I saw her, I said it to her.
And what was her reaction?
She got real upset. And then she started yelling at me and started yelling, "Go suck your mother, batty boy. Go suck your mother, batty boy."
Is that patois?
Yes, it is.
Can you break it down for me? What does it mean?
So the phrase "go suck your mother" means go and give like your mom oral sex. And then batty boy is just another phrase in Jamaica that they use to call you a homosexual.
Is this a run-of-the-mill curse in Jamaica?
No, it is not.
Why?
So in Jamaica, it's more like a matriarchy type society. So, most guys I know typically live with their moms. So there's like a close affinity to especially guys and their mothers. So like disrespecting somebody's mom is like a big no-no.
If somebody said that to you in Jamaica about your mom, what would happen?
Typically that would lead to a fight.
And the second part of it about being a bocce boy, which you said a homosexual.
Right.
Why is that significant?
So Jamaica is sort of, a little bit of, maybe a homophobic type society. So calling somebody like a bocce boy is like a serious disrespect.
Again, run-of-the-mill or serious curses?
Yeah, it's serious. Usually it starts like a fight.
When Andreen says this to you, what do you do?
So the bocce boy piece, I sort of like brushed over it. But, the suck your mother piece, I responded to that. And I was like, "Oh, from mother y'all talking?" And that's basically me asking her, whose mom are you talking about?
Well, why did that bother?
Well, that kind of bothered me because, ever since we've been married, my mom treated Andreen pretty well. And I treated Andreen's mother pretty well as well. So that seemed like a pretty odd disrespect, unless you're trying to get into a fight or something. I don't know.
Throughout your marriage, all the arguments you've had, is this different?
Yeah, she had never said that before.
And when it happens and you say, whose mother are you talking about? Does she respond?
Yeah, she says, "I feel like I'm a batty boy," which means I'm talking about your mother, the batty boy piece at the end.
Is that further insulting?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do?
But at that point, it didn't make any sense to continue with the conversation, obviously, because it's going nowhere. So I decided to go inside the room.
And let me stop there. Who's staying in that room at that time?
So at that time, I'm staying in that room. Andreen is, I believe, upstairs in the guest room. Elena is in her room, and Maureen is in Maureen's room.
Do you make it into your bedroom?
Yes, I did.
And what's the next thing that happens?
So as I'm, going into the room through the door, I responded to her last, insult with, "That's fine. I know when I file my divorce, I'm going to keep my job and I'll have my company, and then you can keep the next half, and we'll go our separate ways."
Did she have any reaction to that?
Yes, she became extremely irate at the thought of, I don't know, maybe the part about, splitting the business.
And what does she do?
So she yells out the same curse word again, "Go suck your mother, batty boy," and charges into the room to confront me.
What does she look like?
She's steaming, man. At that point, she's really angry.
Where does she go?
So when she comes into the room, I turn around and she comes like right up in my face and says it again, "Go suck your mother, batty boy."
Is she still continuing on forward?
Yeah, she's charging towards me when she's saying it.
Okay. How close to your face does she get while she's charging?
So she comes like right up in my face, at which point I'm like, "Oh yeah, move on to my face," which means, "What are you doing? Get out of my face."
What is her response?
And her response after that is, "Oh yeah, I got him. which means, what are you going to do about it?
What do you say?
And at that point, I said, you know what, you're trying to get me into, trouble. So,
Did she stop?
no. Now, after I say that, that's when,
Does she leave?
no, she does not.
Right at that moment, what happened?
So at that moment, she then repeats the Kasoki Marabati boy, but this time at the end, she spits in my face.
At the moment she spits in your face, what happened?
So at that point, it's just like reflex. I grabbed her, because she's like right in front of me, so I grabbed her head. I think we had like a clash of heads, and I think it opened up like a cut somewhere on her face, because she's a bit, taller than I am, so when the headbutt is like my forehead and like her face or something.
You all wrestled.
So at that point, her initial reaction was to kind of like, reach up and like grab her face to see. And then there was like some blood on her fingers. So she like runs into the master bedroom, not the master.
Where is that?
So the master bathroom and the bedroom are just separated by a door. So we're like, maybe the distance to the bathroom door is like between me and the slave right here.
When she runs into the bathroom, what does she do?
So she runs into the bathroom and turns on the light switch, and then turns to the mirror to kind of take a look at her face. And at that point, I'm trying to see what her face looked like. So I just like stepped maybe like a foot into the bathroom.
In the doorway.
Right.
And what happened?
So when she looks and sees the mark on her face, she was like looking at it, after she touched it again. But at that point, she gets extremely angry. And that's when she comes, across the bathroom from the switch back towards the door, standing there to attack me.
When she attacks you, you react?
Yeah, so when she comes, she's like throwing like some punches. So I'm trying to like duck down and like keep my face from, getting hit with the blows. And then in between the scuffle, I remember like grabbing her and like tripping her over one of my legs. And then she like falls, and that's when I kicked her like twice when she fell.
She's coming out.
Yes.
She's throwing punches.
Yes, she was.
Is she going sideways, backwards, or right at you?
She was coming directly at me. So, like I said, when she went inside the bathroom and hit the light switch is on the other side of the bathroom where the mirror was. And then she had to basically charge all the way across the bathroom back towards me at the door. And that's when...
Your momentum or her momentum to kind of flip her over onto the floor?
So, doing the wrestling, I sort of use like her own body weight, when I twist her, and then use like my leg to like a trip. So that's how she fell.
And then what do you do?
So as soon as she fell, it was like a reaction, so I landed like a couple of kicks.
More than a couple or a couple?
I'd say probably like about a couple.
And right at that moment, what happened?
So when she got the second kick, I think I heard like some type of wheezing, coming out of her. And then also, like in the background, I could hear like some footsteps running. And at that point, I was like, oh shit, Elena. So I ran out of the bathroom towards the living room area, and then I saw like Elena, like she was somewhere close to the stairs, back at the front. So I ran towards Elena and picked her up, and we went upstairs, and then I was trying to get her back to bed.
Back in the bathroom, when this happened, how long did that confrontation, that violent confrontation, how long did it take?
That was definitely less than a minute. It couldn't be that long.
Were you the aggressor?
No, I was not.
What was going through your mind when you were there when that was happening?
So when she was attacking me, I was basically just trying to defend myself. And I guess probably like a normal situation, you probably like, if someone's like a lot smaller than you, it's not a big deal. You probably just hold them. But since she's, significant, she's bigger than I am. She's pretty strong, so trying to hold her, to restrain her or some shit like that, it's probably not feasible. So I just gave her a few kicks, like a couple of kicks, to like knock the wind out of her and get her to stop.
These kicks, are they
Wow!
kicks of somebody, or are they all part of the movement of what's going on?
It's just like sort of like in the movement, because like when you flip, you got a leg behind you and you just whip it, and then you hit the next one.
When you take Elena, where do you take her?
I took her back upstairs to her bedroom.
This is unbelievable.
Because I didn't want her around, any type of situation where, there was any type of family violence or stuff like that.
And when you get to her bedroom, what do you do?
So I was there trying to get her to go back to sleep. And then, at the time I'm thinking about like, okay, she probably just called the police and Andrew.
When you go up to Elena, do you think that Andrews okay?
No, I just thought, because I heard her reason. So at the time, I just thought she got the wind knocked out of her. So she probably already caught her breath, probably called the police and made up some story.
Okay. Do you know how long it takes you to get Elena back to sleep?
I'm not sure the exact time, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
After you do that, what do you do?
So after Elena falls back to sleep, that's when I, go back downstairs and heading back to my room. And then when I, get inside the room, I notice Adrian is still lying in the floor right next to the door. So at that point, I sort of like, go over her and she's not moving. And then I went over to like check, see.
Check.
Yes.
Tell me how.
So I bent over and then I like grabbed her face and then feel like if I could feel like a pulse or something, and then I put my ear next to like her nose to see if she was breathing, and she was not.
What kind of reaction did that make you have?
So at that point, honestly, man, I became like pretty frantic at that point because, oh fucking shit, she's dead on the floor. We just had a fight. Obviously, I'm gonna get blamed for this. And I got a 7-year-old autistic kid upstairs that who's gonna take care of her. So, I mean, it was a pretty scary situation.
You stayed right there at the doors of the bathroom, the master bedroom, or where did you go?
So at that point, I'm feeling like the house is like hot. So I went outside just to like get some fresh air and just to like, gather my thoughts and like think about like, what the hell is this going on? So I go outside and I'm, just out there like pacing around and thinking. And I think I actually like went through the gate and then I came back in to the house.
What did you do?
So when I got back in the house, I'm thinking, God damn it, I think I need to get her out of the house before, Elena wakes up and sees her in the house. And then, I don't know, man, at that point, I got this idea to just like get her out of the house. So I think I made like a text message or something like, where are you type deal. And then I went into the garage and I got two trash bags.
Describe yourself when you're doing it.
So, I mean, it's a scary situation. I ain't never been in anything like that before. I'm pretty nervous, I'm frantic, what the hell is going on type deal. And I'm just at that point moving like basically like kind of instincts or something. But I go inside the garage and I grab like a couple of trash bags and then I put one over the top of her and then the other one under the, for the lower leg or something.
What's your purpose to do that?
So at that point, for me, I was just trying to get her out of the house.
Why?
Because first, I didn't want to let her to see her. And then at that point, like I said, I'm thinking my life is over now. Obviously, I would get blamed for this. And then, she's gone. I'm probably going to go away. And then my daughter doesn't have any parents.
You said that you're going to get blamed for this. Do you think you were guilty of it?
No, I didn't think I was guilty, but knowing like the circumstance, you know, there's obviously a dead person in your house, you know, and you're the only adult there. And I know she's like, you know, like issues before with the marriage where she's having an affair and stuff like that. So it just seemed like any run-of-the-mill police that, you know, would be familiar with this situation. It just seemed like, obvious, like, oh, obviously, we know why you do it kind of deal. So I was just trying to escape the whole situation.
What did you do with the body?
So afterwards, I put her, cause it's pretty big, so I drug her in the plastic bags. But before I did that, I think I used like a belt or something to like tie the two bags together. And then I drug her through the house, through the front door.
Did you pick her up?
No, she's way too big for that.
So, how did you get her out?
So I basically like screwed it down, like grabbed like the top part of her body and like started pulling until I eventually got her to the front door. And then
Where did you take her?
I got her in the trunk, and then I went to Spring Road. So when I got to the trunk, I had to like lean like her upper body against like the back of the vehicle after I opened up the trunk. And then I had to like scoot down and like use the bumper kind of like as leverage, and then like grab the lower part of her body and like to turn her into the trunk.
Which car?
It was the Chevy Malibu.
And when you get her in the trunk, where do you go?
I went to Spring Road.
Why that location?
So I had gone to that location before. There's like a soccer field on that road, and I had gone there to watch some soccer before.
The soccer field's close to the rural property.
Yes, it is.
Did you go anywhere else, or did you go directly there?
I went there.
You know what time it was when you got there?
It's pretty late, maybe 1:32 or something.
What do you do?
So when I get there, I wasn't like aiming for like a specific spot. I just like was gonna put her like one of the properties. So I pulled up right next to like the fence, and then you know I drug her out of the trunk, and then I kind of like rolled her over. I don't remember if it was under the bottom fence or like over on top of the first fence. I'm not sure.
Describe the fence.
So it has like these metal bars that go up horizontal, and then there's like these, you know, wires that go across, maybe like 3 or 4 wires.
How did you get her through?
I'm not exactly sure. I think either I probably slid her under the bottom, or it was like over the bottom fence.
Would there be a reason that you're not sure?
It's been 4 years, so you know, small details like that is kind of hard.
What's going on with you at the time?
Like I said, at that time, I'm just panicking. You know, it's not like a situation that people normally find themselves in day to day. So
That's an understatement.
I did the same thing. Like, you know, I drug her like some distance, like across and up. But it was kind of dark, so I couldn't really see like where, you know, stuff was or anything like that.
You sat through this whole trial. Did you put the body where all the photographs and the bones are and all the exhibits that have been shown to us?
Yes, that would seem kind of accurate because I remember there was like, you know, a dead cow right next to where.
Wow. Wow.
What did you do?
So at that time, I took the bags off. I was just gonna leave it there, and for some reason, I don't remember why, but I just had this weird idea to probably should just take the clothes. So I took the clothes and threw them in the bag, and then went back in the car and went home.
Take all her clothes?
I think so.
And you went, you see, you put them in the bag and went home.
Yes.
When you got home, what did you do?
So when I went home, I think I went home, and at that moment, I think I don't remember if I took my clothes off and threw them in the bag. But eventually, I knew I threw her clothes, and I'm thinking I probably took my clothes off as well and threw them in like a plastic bucket. And I just got a lighter and lit him. But as I'm
Is that the
doing,
smart thing you did?
now that's a pretty stupid thing to do
Why?
because, it's a plastic bucket. So,
What happened?
so the plastic bucket started to melt when, I lit the fire.
Oh my
So
God.
that's where it kind of turned over on where you see in the spot.
Hey, Connie Chung Black, thank you. Happy holidays.
Is, in your yard, is that the top of the bucket?
Yes,
How did it get like?
it just melted down from the heat.
Is that
With the clothes.
that's where you put the bucket
Yes,
when it started to melt?
yes.
And when,
I think I put the stuff into I think I scraped it up and then threw it in a trash bag. But for some reason I think I
you
took
it clean?
yeah. So when I went back into the bathroom, right where she was laying down, I think there was a small speck of blood or something on the floor. So I had cleaned up that speck that was on the floor. It was mixed with saliva or something, saliva and blood to be accurate.
I want to go back for just a minute. When this tussle or fight or conflict occurred. Okay? At that moment, were you afraid?
During the fight,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I was, because, like I said, we never had any type of big brawls like this, and I hadn't had a fight, a real fight with anybody since I was 13 years old. So,
Do you have any special training in fighting?
no, I do not.
Is it part of your workout or anything you do to practice fighting?
No, I don't have any reason to practice fighting. I work with computers.
And when's the last time you said you had a physical fight with someone?
I was 13 years old, going to St. Jacob High School, 12th grade.
And after this happens and you dispose of the body, what do you do?
So after that, I remember going upstairs to Elena's room. She was sleeping. So at that point, I was just in the room. I don't remember how long I was in there, but I know I was in there crying.
Do you remember how long you stayed in there crying?
Maybe an hour or so.
How did you feel about everything that you've described?
I mean, at that point, man, it felt really awful. Basically, we had a good life for a while and everything is going good. And then basically this madness just so at that point, I'm feeling really sad because, like I said, my daughter got autism. She's 7 years old. She's probably not going to have any parents. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, I'm also why me? Why me? Because pretty much the whole night, I tried to avoid the very situation that I ended up in when I left the house.
So the next morning, what do you do? You go to sleep?
No, I couldn't sleep at that point.
The next morning, what do you do?
So it was a few hours after that, time to get Elena back up for school. So I went upstairs, to give her a bath. And at that point, she when I picked her up, she asked me where's mommy?
What'd you say?
So, and at that point, it kind of broke me down. So I didn't really know what to tell her. So I just told her hey, mommy's at the gym. And then at that point, I gave her a bath. We did the same thing afterwards, put her clothes on, took her downstairs, gave her a vitamin C, and then I put her on the bus.
Then what do you do?
And then after that, after I put her on the bus, I went to walk the dogs like I can normally do as well. And then I think I sent Andrew a text, and then I fed the dogs or some silly like that. And then when I was leaving the house, I noticed her phone. I think it's in the bathroom or something. And then it popped in my head wait a minute, and Jean left the house. She probably has her phone. So at that point, I think I grabbed the phone. And I don't remember if I smashed it outside or something, but I know I smashed it at some point, and then I threw it in the same garbage bag that I had. And then when I was driving to work, there was like a construction going on someplace. And then I pulled over the side of the road and like dumped it into like this construction, bin that they have. And then went to work.
How long were you at work?
So it was just normal, like I was there to maybe like close to maybe 11 or something. I'm not sure, but it's about lunchtime. And then I decided to go to lunch.
And how are you that day?
So at that time, I haven't had any sleep, pretty much. So I'm just, kind of like moving along basically like a robot.
And you go in the skiff?
Yes, I did.
When do you come out of it?
So like I said, it's probably around 11-ish or something, or 11:30. I'm not sure the exact time, but I know I came out like around the lunchtime period. And then when I came out of the skiff, I didn't like turn the phone. I don't know if I didn't look at the phone at that time, but I know I went to the Popeyes first. And then as I'm driving away from the Popeyes, I believe, I realized that I got like a bunch of calls on Facebook from Carol.
You go home?
So not immediately. I remember giving Carol a call back. And then when I answered the phone, she's like, oh my God, like I've been looking for you guys all morning. Where's Andrine? And I was at that point, I said, I don't know where Andrine is. Maybe she's at the house. And then she says, Judy called her saying she was, we calling Andrine this morning and she couldn't get a hold of Andrine. And so at that point, I told her I'd go home to the house. Maybe she's, in the closet or something.
The testimony of Carol Gambar and Elizabeth Cancel about you at the house confronting you, is that pretty accurate?
Initially, when I went home and they came into the house, there wasn't really like a confrontation, because as they came in, there's like, I don't remember I think Maureen came through the door first, and then Carol came behind her. But there was like a brief exchange, because I was like walking out of the house, and I don't know what it was. They were saying something to me, but I couldn't hear. So,
Do you remember anybody yelling at you?
At that point, no, I did not.
Where did you go?
So I got out of the house, and then I got in my car, and then I went to the hospital.
Why?
Well, at that point, I was just trying to get out of the house, get away from these ladies and go clear my head, because, this is like a crazy situation going on now. So it just seemed like a normal thing. Like that's probably you would check with somebody first. So that's why.
What did you expect to happen at the reception desk at the hospital?
So I'm thinking I'm gonna go in there and say to the guy, like, ask for Andrine and stuff. Well, ask for McDonald, and he'd probably say no. And then I'd leave, go back to the house, and tell him, well, I guess she's not at the hospital. But when I talked to the guys, he says like last name, and I said McDonald. I don't know, maybe like he heard like my accent when I said it, and then he's like, he looks up and he's like, yeah, there's this lady here with this little girl, which I thought was just like, I don't know, man, that just sounded like some kind of sign or something. So I just kind of got freaked out, and then I turned and left. So, and then when I left, I drove down the street a little bit, and then I stopped on the side of the road to just contemplate, what the hell to do next.
What's going through your mind?
So at that point, I'm just thinking, oh my God, this is probably it. This is over.
How do you feel about what's happened?
So at the same time, at that time, I'm feeling like pretty scared, the whole situation. And I'm just thinking about, oh my God, my life is freaking over. And my daughter's life is probably over too. And then, pretty much Marines were like depending on her. So her life's probably over as well. So that's all I can think about.
Where did you go?
So I don't know how many minutes I was, on the
Hey,
side of the
uppity.
road, but then after that I decided like to go back. And then when I got back home, there was like cops already at the house. And then when I walked in, I believe the cop took me back to the bathroom, and then he showed me like the blood on the switch. And at that point, like, the ladies were yelling at me at this point. And then the cop, like, he started to take me back out of the house to like get some separation between, because the women were like, making a lot of noise. So he took me out of the house in handcuffs. And then he put me to sit down in the back of the car. And then he started, asking me questions like, what happened, you know what I'm saying? And I basically told him, like, we got into like an argument and left, and that was it. And then I forgot what he said. I don't remember what he said after that. But I remember what he said now. He says, just tell us, man, you better tell us what happened right now. And if you tell us what happened right now, you'll get a lot of time. But if you don't, you'll get even a lot more time. And at that point, I asked him, I said, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to talk to the Lord.
Is that where you stayed?
So that's where I stayed pretty much the rest of it. I was detained for, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 hours. They left pretty late, like early the next morning.
During that 13 hours, are you thinking about your situation?
Yeah, so during that time frame, my mind kind of shifted. At first, I was just like feeling sorry about like the whole situation. I'm just thinking, man, if only I knew what was going to happen when I went back to the house, I'd have probably just left the gas station and drive to Houston and like never come back or something like that. And then I started feeling for myself. I'm like, man, why the hell does this shit have to happen to me, of all people? Like my whole life, I'm trying to do good for other people and stuff. I took Andrine out of Jamaica, helped her live a better life. I brought Maureen to to live with us, to also get a better life.
How does that make you feel?
At first, as gradually the sorry and the pity started turning towards like anger, because now I'm thinking like, why the hell, she's doing all this stuff, and I started thinking about all this stuff, and as I'm thinking about the cheating, the stuff with the accounts, the money, and now with the business and all of that stuff, and then finally, like this whole reason that we started arguing that week about me not wanting to go on that trip to Jamaica. At that point, honestly, I just thought, oh shit, this is what's going on. So I thought at that point, oh man, this is what was going on. She's trying to set me up to like get me down to Jamaica and have the boyfriend, off me when I was down there. And at that point, like the pity just kind of like went away. And now it's just like pure rage and like anger. The whole time I'm in there, I'm just there. I'm like angry now because now I'm like, she got a degree.
Did they release you?
Nah, they released me maybe like 2 o'clock or something.
What do you do?
So as soon as they released me, like I said, I was pretty angry now at that point. And so I went inside the house when they left, and then I think I grabbed like the hammer. I had like a little bit of gas or something in like a container, like a plastic container. And then I went into the vehicle and left. But then when I drove out, it was like really foggy and dark that night. So I had to like circle back to the house to grab the flashlight. And then when I grabbed the flashlight, I think that's when I then drove to the, I think I circled back a third time because when I grabbed the gas, I didn't have anything to light it with. And then I went back to grab a lighter. And then I went to the field.
Now, I'm showing you it's been marked as defendants exhibits 55 and 56. Do you recognize those?
Yes, that's a picture of the shelf that's in my garage.
Are they both pictures of the shelf in your garage?
Yes.
Okay. You know, if the exhibit number 55, are these on different days?
No, they look like the same day, just closer up.
Okay. $55 and $56.
And that's a service company, which is
March
no objection, Judge, to 55 and 56.
They're both admitted. Yeah.
I'm showing you it's been marked as defense exhibit 55. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And slightly different view, defense exhibit 56 on March 1st in your garage. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Can you see this little item right there, little yellow base?
Yes, I can.
Do you know what that item is?
That's my yellow hammer.
That's what I'm showing you what's been marked as defense exhibit 59. Can you look at that and tell me what it is?
That's my hammer.
What you're calling the yellow hammer?
Yes.
And I'm showing you what's been marked as defense exhibits 57 and 58. Two photographs. Can you tell me what they are?
Yes, they're just photos of the same shelf without the hammer.
Would those be on March 2nd?
Yes.
'57, '58, '59 defense exhibits tendered for objection.
Your Honor, no objection to 57, 58, and 59.
These are all admitted.
Hey, Tweety, wasn't you here at the beginning? I'm sorry. I didn't say hey. I thought I said hello
That's the
earlier.
hammer.
Is this the base of the hammer?
Yes, it is.
Is that what you pointed to on the March 1st photo?
Yes, it is.
Defense exhibit 57. Here, in that same location, you see that hammer?
No, it's not there anymore.
You see it in 58
No, it's not there anymore.
on these March 2nd photos. Do you know why it's not there?
Yes, I do. The reason why they're not there, it's not there, is because that Saturday, early Saturday morning, March 2nd, I had grabbed the hammer off the shelf, and then, like I said before, after I got released from the cops, I had driven back out to Spec Road, because
What did you take with you out to Spec Road?
I took some gas and the hammer and the flashlight.
Do you know what time you went out there?
It was pretty late, probably like 3 o'clock or something.
And when you got there, where did you go?
I went straight back in front of the same property.
I know YT. You see,
I was angry as hell.
I mean not YT. I know Winter, right?
When I jumped over the fence and went towards the body.
When you got to where the body was, what did you do?
So at that point, now I'm like really angry because, you know.
When you say you're really angry about what?
Man, so the reason why I'm really, really angry is just because, like, I'm thinking about this whole situation, like a lot of it. Like, you know, I left the house just to avoid the very situation that I'm in, a confrontation with Andrew. Okay? And all of this, in my opinion, like, could have been avoided. Like, if Andreen wanted to, like, go be with somebody else, she was free to do that. She had a degree. She owned half of a business. Like, why would she need to, like, go through all this stuff to try to get it all? And then, in my opinion, at that point, I'm thinking that's what the whole thing about going to Jamaica was, you know, trying to get this dude to, like, probably offer me off so she can get everything. So I get really angry. So at that point, I poured, like, the gas on her, and then I lit the fire.
Was it enough gas?
No, it wasn't like a lot of gas. It's just like leftover gas that I had. Like, you know, I used to cut my own grass, but then eventually, like, you know, as the business grew and stuff, I started having Eddie come by the house now and do the lawn care. So it was just like some leftover that I had in a container. So I poured that on her, I lit it, and then it was out. I don't know how long, but it was out pretty fast.
Then what did you do?
So at that point, you know, I got a hammer. And, you know, the body's like right there. So at that point, I just got really pissed off and started, like, you know, hitting the body with the hammer.
How many times?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but it was multiple times. But I know.
Where did you hit?
So I know I was, like, hitting, like, in the face and, like, the neck area. And I remember, like,
oh my
first
God,
I hit her in the face with the hammer front, and then I used the claw and, like, hit her in the neck area. And I remember the claw got stuck in, like, her neck.
Oh my
God!
God!
That's when I was like ripping the
Oh my
hammer
God!
out. And then at that point, I thought I was done, but as I'm, like, starting to, like, walk away, I give it, like, one more whack somewhere in the body. I'm not sure where that landed.
Wow! Wait! Wait! Lit Lane Jury Box. At this moment, we need to all just take a pause, cause let's take a pause and breathe in and breathe out. Wow, the way he is just, this is sick. And I hate that saying, but this is sick. He getting off on it. He's reliving it, right? He's reliving it with fervor, and it feels good to him. It feels good to him to think about this, because guess what? He's still just as angry, if not angrier. He probably hates her even more. He's probably even angry at her, because guess what? It's because of this bitch I'm in this position right now. She did this to me. She deserved everything she got. I started to walk away. I turned around and hit that bitch again. This shit right here, I mean, I am so, like, man, it's like these type of men, you got to get the hell away from. You know what I'm saying? You have to run, don't look back from. And it starts with the control. Oh my God. I had to take a pause for the cause, baby, because he was I ain't gonna lie, y'all. He was taking me too goddamn fast, okay? He was taking me too fast. And he's literally saying this as though it makes perfectly fucking good sense. Right now, as he sits there fighting for his life on the trial, he's literally saying these things like, hey, you would have done the same thing. How dare she end up unalive on him? How dare she get him in this predicament? Girl, how dare she ruin his life? His life is over now because of her. I wrote it in the chat. The lady already unalive. He already put her body in the field next to a dead cow carcass. That wasn't good enough. He got mad again days later and went back to defile the body as much as humanly possible because he was so mad again. If he can go dig her ass up right now at this moment, he would. And exactly. Like he described it any ordinary day. Wow, let's get back to it because I wanted to end it. I want to end this at 3 hours and we come back tomorrow. But that was a lot all at one breath. Okay, he didn't take a breath. I needed to take a breath. I needed to vent and just exhale. Wow.
And at this point, honestly, man, I'm just like really, really angry because.
Have you had any sleep?
Nah, I didn't sleep at that point. I'm tired, but I'm angry. I'm tired, at that point, and I'm just like going off fumes at that point. Because, like I said, I just kept repeating in my head, like, how the hell does this like shit, happen to me and me of all people? Like, why the hell did this have to happen to me? And like I said, this could have been like way avoided, and I'm just pissed off at Andrine at that point because I'm thinking this could have been easily avoided. Because I had filed for divorce a couple of years ago, and she knew at that point she had no intention of working on anything, but she was just trying to like keep me around, using my daughter against me to keep me in the house, so she continued with some kind of scheme to rip me off. And then I'm thinking, when that doesn't work, because like she had said in the text, Texas is a community property state, so there is absolutely no way you can legally like have business and assets with a spouse and then get a divorce and not have half go to one spouse and half go to the other one. So in my opinion, the only way she was gonna get everything to go share with the boyfriend, they had to have been planning like get me whacked when I went to Jamaica. And yes, that's what I was thinking.
How much longer did you stay at that location?
I don't know how long more I was staying. I stayed at the location. I probably just like stood around there for a little bit, just like thinking. And I probably.
When you come back to Solitude Cove, when you use your gate code to get inside?
No, I don't think I used the gate code. I think I used like Andrew's like gate pass or something to get in.
When you go out to Spick Road, what vehicle are you in?
At that time, I'm driving a car because the cops, they took my Malibu and I believe they took the Traverse from the house that night and they left the Jag and the Porsche. So I had driven the Porsche out there.
Okay. When you come back to Solitude Cove, where do you park the Porsche?
I go back and park the Porsche in the garage.
Then what do you do?
At that point, I took the clothes off and the hammer and the flashlight, and I basically put them in the trash. And then I think I had some clothes. It was pretty cold because it was winter, so I think I had maybe like another layer of clothes or something. But I didn't think those got messed up when I, because I had the black sweater and the black pants over it, so I didn't think any of the underneath clothes got messed up. So I think I went into the bathroom and took those off and then put them on a chair or something. And then, I don't know, I kept pacing around for another few hours.
Then what do you do?
So at that point, I'm just like thinking about like a lot of stuff, man. Like this whole situation, like how we got to this point, you know what I'm saying? Like how my life is going like really great, for several years. I get married, we get a kid, career-wise, I'm doing good, got promoted, business is going good. And then for it just to like turn on a dime from that kind of atmosphere to now this whole crazy situation where basically, there's one dead person and I'm probably, going down for that. And then there's this little girl with autism that basically got no parents. And then all the other people that their lives are going to get ruined because of this whole situation. And I'm just thinking about all of that stuff. And then in the morning, that's when I'm thinking, man, the only way out of this now is to probably just go try to get rid of the body.
Where did you go?
So I think at first I went and got like some cash at the bank, and then I went to Lowe's.
That's you in the video we've seen looking around those, making purchases.
Yes, that's me.
Gas cans, hatchet, axe.
Yes.
Are in there.
Yes, sir.
Wait. So you mean to tell me, check this out. You mean to tell me that now he goes to Lowe's, and so then he gonna go back to the body again? Winter, girl. Girl. Wow. Somebody just typed it in the damn chat. Wait a minute. Where is it? Where is it? Somebody just typed, boom. Oh my God. This is unbelievable.
And where do you go with it?
So afterwards, I go back to my house, and then, I get to the house, I park the Porsche inside the garage, and then I'm there, just, pacing around, basically still thinking. But
let me ask you a question. All those items, many of which are piled up there, all the items from Lowe's, do you ever use any of those items out on the spec road?
no, I did not.
The gas can,
Oh.
the axe, the shovel. It's a new shovel. Right?
Yeah, everything that was there was brand new.
It's still a new shovel.
They're all new.
The axe is a new axe. Other than what you described, lighting a body on fire, hitting it with a hammer, do you ever go back out the spec road?
No, I did not.
Why are you looking up searches of questions about fingerprints and bones and bone decay and that kind of thing?
So at that point, that's like in July or something, and I've already been arrested for this case. So this case is pretty much, set in stone. So now I'll go to court, and then we'll have a trial. But a lot of the stuff is just like curiosity. And then some of the stuff, like there was like another case where they had found like this other lady out in the woods that was burnt around that time. And that also kind of like, drives some curiosity. And then there's like other stuff going on. So there's a lot of different searches. I think just out of curiosity, because they had come to the house and search the house, and there's like the DNA stuff on the light switch. So I think that's what prompted like, DNA tests for like indoor stuff. And then like I knew the body was somewhere out in the wood out there and I expect. So that's probably what drove the like DNA, fingerprints type thinking, just thinking about like what the case would look like basically.
There's been testimony in the trial that you were arrested for the receipt, for the Lowe's receipt for tampering with evidence.
Right.
Did you remain silent on that?
Yes.
Was that months before the discovery of the body?
Yes, it was.
Did you exercise your right to remain silent with respect to any part of the investigation?
Yes, I mean,
when you were going to tell your story about what happened, where were you going to tell?
So at that point, like I said, when I got arrested for the case, I decided at that point I was just gonna dig in and wait till I went to court, because I didn't really like trust the police or maybe the DA's office trying to twist words against me and trying to manipulate stuff and make it seem to be something what it wasn't or what it is. So at that point, I just decided my best bet is to wait till I go to court and then I'll tell the truth.
In March and then July of 2019, Have you done nothing to try to get into court and tell your story?
So I remember like the first time, probably like July when I first got arrested. I remember when we came to court, and at that point I was, demanding like to get a trial pretty soon from the judge. And I remember that whole interaction because when we said it, the judge had asked the prosecutor at the time. It's none of these people here.
Have you always, from the very beginning, wanted to go to trial as soon as possible?
Yes, it is. Way back in 2019, as soon as this case began, I've been asking to come to court the whole time.
Did you, in fact, on the Friday before we started testimony with this jury and panel, did you call your mother-in-law and your sister-in-law?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yes, I did.
How did that feel?
I mean, it was a pretty emotional conversation. I already knew when the case started, obviously we're gonna have a trial, then I'll get to tell the truth. But I had lived with Maureen for several years, and not only that, on top of that, since I've been, away, she's been the person like taking care of my daughter. And so I just felt like I didn't want Maureen to hear it at the same time everybody else hears it. I just thought out of courtesy, I give her a heads up, let her know what went down, tell her the truth, and then eventually I'll come to court and say it.
Is what you told them what happened?
Yes, I did, but the way they kind of, said it in the court, obviously some things weren't, but the general concept, I think I maybe got the general concept down, but some of the key details, obviously they didn't pass it on correctly.
That's good.
Ooh-wee. Huh. Ooh-wee, 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 ooh-wee. Okay? So, that brings us. Thank you guys for riding through this best of trial watch with Demetra tonight. We went over an hour, but hey, it was necessary, right, to get through this first part of his testimony. If you're anything like me, I cannot wait until tomorrow night's episode where we come back and get the cross examination. I hope, I pray that during this cross examination, they grill him. Except it's like almost impossible to make him look worse, right? Oh, it's no way we could have stopped in 2 hours. It's no way. No, it's not trial by judge. It's definitely a jury. The jury is over to where we're looking at it now. The way we're looking at it now, the jury is over to the right. They better, right? But it's like it's almost no. I think it's gonna just like it's no way to make him look worse, right? It's no way to. I think the only thing that the prosecution can do is. I think maybe a good tactic will be to get him really angry up there, right? And if you've seen his testimony, no spoilers. But because I haven't seen it, I think the only thing that they can do to really make him look any worse than what he did himself tonight is to really get him angry and riled up. So instead of just thinking, okay, he's a calm, that you see the apathy with him. You see him emotionless. You see him saying stuff so matter of factly. I think it would be very effective to actually get him riled up, so you can see that rage and see that evilness and that, that violence on his face. We saw little hints of it tonight, right? Especially when he was describing what he did when he went back to the body. Especially, that's when he kind of like, you saw little glimpses of it. You heard it. We can hear it. We know what his actions were, right? But I think to like literally see him in it, that's what they're gonna have to do. Lady Steph say, I just want the type of conversations that we had between he and his attorneys about him taking a stand. I'm sure it was his idea, though. He's a narcissist. Right. And it's like nothing you can do. They have a right to testify. They have a right to not testify. And the attorney cannot tell them, no, you can't. I think the person that takes the stand is just as goofy as the person who defends herself, right? It's easy bring up her getting the business in her name, right? His military career may stop the loud outbursts from him, but he may get real slick at the mouth. Right, you got to remember. Oh, you wasn't. I don't know if you was here, Connie. You might have been up the cloud. Remember when one of somebody objected. I object hearsay. He say that's not hearsay. Okay. Winter said it won't take much for them to do it because he got hyper when they Winter. Winter. See, great minds, right? Great minds think alike. Exactly. That was a little hint of it. So I'm not gonna hold you guys much longer. I know that tomorrow we're gonna come back. I love the way you are able to understand what we're saying, even though it doesn't type out right. I told y'all, like, I love the Lit Lane jury box. I love Lit Lane. I love the Lit Lane jury box. For 2025, I want 5,000 more Lit Lane jury box, folks. Right? So I'm gonna let y'all go. I know this is a lot. Everybody needs to decompress, woosah, and get ready to come back tomorrow night for another episode, the best of Trial Watch with Demetra. Okay, tomorrow night, the cross-examination, and then we'll leave because today's just Tuesday, right? Yeah, and so Thursday night, the last night, we don't do this content on Friday. We'll do the verdict or the sentencing. Okay, all right. Until then, y'all be blessed. Don't be stressed. He can handle all of the rest. Good night, guys. Court is adjourned. Oh, yeah, that's what I need to do. I'm going to do an outro where it say, with a gavel, bloop, and I say, court is adjourned. Okay. That'll be cute. Very cute.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time.